Former Calypso King of St. Lucia, the Ashanti. Before that, you heard from another former Calypso King of St. Lucia, Papa Vader. Now, standing by to bring you the Love Zone. By the way, if you'd like to watch the Love Zone live on Facebook, just go to facebook.com/Rev-Up 97.1. Again, just go to facebook.com/Rev-Up 97.1. Watch us live. Okay, this time check is brought to you by Mirage Insurance Agency, powered by Trust, located in the Blue Coral Mall, William Peter Boulevard, Castries. Authorized agent for GTM Insurance. Time by Mirage Insurance Agency is 9 o'clock. Time now for the Love Zone. Well, let's say good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and viewers, especially those of you on Facebook. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Love Zone, another segment today, Friday, the 24th of November, 2023. My name is Andre Paul, and the co-host of the show, already in studio, we have Nikki Edmonds alongside Shamak Leo. Lady and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everyone. Hope you had a blessed week. Wishing you a wonderful weekend. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Indeed, indeed, Nikki. Shamak, good morning, Shamak.
Good morning, Sanisha. Good morning, Facebook.
And all is well? With all?
Yeah, I'm good. A little bit tired from work, but I'm cool.
Yeah, Shamak, you keep telling us about all that fun you have. in your line of work, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I guess as an event planner, it doesn't get bored because every day you have a different event, you meet different people, so it can be very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So do you get a lot of work, Shamak?
I would say yes, because of my personality. I've been doing it for the last 25 years, so I can say yes. If it can keep you for 25 years, I think, yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't take it for granted because clients come, they go, sometimes they switch for whatever reason it is, but you try to make sure you always increase on the brand, make it better and be authentic to yourself.
I can't help but tell you, I tell you over and over that you're a creative guy, very creative. I was just curious to know, is this something that you were born with, or you developed that over the years?
I normally say, I think my creativity chose me because growing up I did not know there was anything called designing or event planning and stuff like that. Because as I said the last time when we was on air, you started working at Valma as a porter. I mean, so you did not know, and then you end up merging into the whole showing those things. Because at home, you just normally used to change the sofas around and change curtains, maybe do little Christmas decorations out of paper and stuff like that at school. But it wasn't something to say I wanted to be a designer and stuff like that. So when I realized there was something called event planning, you try to get into it. But then when we just started, I figured that it wouldn't work for me because at that time it was very popular, Miss Fassois and Mr. Auger. That was the biggest designers back in the days when I just came on the scene. So my mother said, "C'est pas ça au fait. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Everybody's different." And then I just took that and I ran with it because I think I have my own flavor. I keep saying I'm not one of the best designers in St. Lucia, but I'm very creative. The sky's the limit. I'll do whatever it has to take to make the event come to life. And it's important to have a consultation with the client, and the rest is history.
I notice you always talk about your mom, your dad. Is your dad in St. Lucia?
Hey, me, the man didn't feed me, and the man died already. But I had two fathers. These boys, they give me nothing. I mean, they maybe got the looks and maybe the height, but my mom was there. She was like a backbone, very supportive in everything that you do. I mean, I would travel wherever I have to tell my mother I'm out of the country because I'm thinking you are mother till you go to your grave. So I think we have that connection where I can say, hey, I can talk to my mother about anything. I get her involved. I want her feedback. I want inputs. I want stuff. So it's very important because some people think they're too big and then you couldn't speak to your parents. I think you speak to your mother or your father before you speak to a total stranger. Yeah.
What I know, I've read so many stories about people who are gay and they come out and they have a lot. In fact,
I don't like
the
the
last
word come out. I was in no hole, no closet.
no, I know. I'm saying what I've read. What I've read, especially in the more developed country. So, what was it like for you? Because I think a lot of gay people don't tell their family because they're afraid of the reaction. As you mentioned, your mom. What was her reaction?
Actually, my mom was in St. Thomas or St. Croix at the time, but I think I was never really hiding. I was always so flamboyant growing up. So the day she called and she was like, "What's new?"
Oh,
and
really?
something came up to me and I said, "I'm gay, this aki gay." I'm hanging out in my ears ringing like it's yesterday. Anytime a family killer, I say, "Girl, you good for yourself. Go and do your zami by yourself. I'm not interested." You know, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny when she came from St. Croix, she brought me all those masculine clothes, men pajamas. I said, "Where you going with that? You'll have to sell them because that's not for me." Because I lived like 8 or 10 years cross-dressing in St. Lucia. I was very comfortable in my skin. So, and my mom now will always encourage you, be careful because, if gay, people might be jealous of you. So she was like, even now, she's still. And she encouraged you, and even as a business person, to save your money, don't do unnecessary stuff. So she's always supportive. I mean, like sometimes, parents will tell you stuff you don't like, but you have to sift it and deal with it. You might quarrel behind the scene because my mother is that person. She don't care whatever age you is, you're still going to get a block because she's your mother.
So, Nikki, before you left the Blind Welfare Association, what exactly did you do with them?
I was a receptionist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. And about your schooling, Nikki, how was that? Challenges with school? Did you go to the normal, put normal in quotes, school or schools in St. Lucia?
Well, first off, I started at the age of 5 at the Santa Cruz Blind Welfare Association in Trinidad because at the moment there was not a school that catered for children who were blind and visually impaired here in St. Lucia. So I spent like 3.5 years there. Then I came back and then...
How old were you at the time?
I was like 5, so I spent like 5 till 8. But then we would come down for breaks like summer, Easter, Christmas and stuff like that. That was very challenging. Being away from home that young, I was very attached to my family. Anyway, so came back here and then we started going to the school for the blind here in St. Lucia. And then we were integrated into the normal school system. So I went to the Anglican Primary School, then Bocage Senior Primary. Then George Charles Secondary, I dropped out in Form 3. I honestly, I just didn't feel like I could continue.
Why? Why is that?
A lot of challenges and a lot of personal stuff going
like
on.
Like what? Like bullying and so on?
Yes. Oh. Yeah, so... But I will never say that I regretted leaving school because I believe that I've held myself well enough up till now. So that's, yep.
Yeah. I know you're close to your dad.
Yeah.
And I know he passed. So what about your mom? Were you close to your mom as well?
Yeah, very. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Is she still alive, by the way?
She is.
Oh, she is?
Yep.
I see. Do you live with her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're still home. Yeah. And how many siblings do you have?
Oh boy, my parents had like 11.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That means your mother still own a hospital, eh? My sister 11, eh?
Yeah.
That's a topic by itself,
I tell you. Yeah, so I have a very large family.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
five brothers, 5 sisters.
And they all challenged visually?
Out of the 11, 7 have the visual impairment.
7?
Yeah.
So who between your father and your mom, who's the visually impaired one?
My dad. My dad was. Yeah.
Okay. But he acted like he wasn't visually impaired at all. I've met him quite a few times.
Boy,
yeah.
I think these people have a sixth sense. And
so that's what you call real blank shots, eh? What day?
Oh, Shamak, you. Anyways. Yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah.
I'm still laughing.
I know, right? This man. What?
Blank shots.
I don't know.
Anyway, so I don't think we told our listeners and viewers last week what we're going to be talking about today. Today's topic is actually a very, very, very hot one. And the topic for today is, what do you think of people who watch a lot of pornography? That's what we're talking about today. What do you think of people who watch a lot of pornography? I was going to say men who watch a lot of porn, but I think women as well do watch. I think the research seems to show or indicate that more men watch pornography than women. We were chatting earlier, and Shamak was telling us what he thinks the ladies are doing while the guys are watching the porn. But that's for another show. So I was doing a little digging, and as far as the meaning of porn is concerned, and let me just put it up there. Let me read it for you. Just give me one little second. Now, I thought I had that thing saved there,
Oh.
All right. There we go. All right, listen to what it says. Pornography is printed or visual material, right, containing the explicit description or display of sexual organs or activity. Now, listen to this. Intended to stimulate erotic or emotional feelings. So let me read that again. Pornography is printed or visual material. Now, I think when I was a little boy, or young boy anyway, it was more the printed.
Yep.
That's what I watched more of the printed. And then, of course, a little later, I must admit, I did get into the visual. I think most young men do. But anyway, printed or visual material containing the explicit description or display of sexual organs or activity intended to, stimulate erotic or emotional feelings. So apparently when the people who produce the pornography, they know what they're doing.
They know.
Because it's intended to stimulate this, these feelings in us. And I let me be the first to say that as a young man, I did imbibe. I watched it. I did. I remember every time I did it, to be honest with you. It left that indelible mark in my mind. I remember each and every time and exactly where I was that I watched it and who was around, who wasn't around, etc., and who was trying to watch at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember watching this thing one time at a guy's home, and we were not even aware of it, but there was a set of fellas just shopping from nowhere, right? And we were watching this thing because we were imbibing to the point where we totally oblivious to what's going on around us. And when we looked, I just saw a whole bunch of guys outside the house there, imbibing as well. So it's very, very powerful. It's very, very powerful.
Oh my goodness.
So let's just talk about the companies that produce these the material. Why do you? Well, I think we read from the meaning that apparently it is meant to do something to you and to me and so on. So without, I guess I could guess that you guys have imbibed already. I would imagine. So did it do what it was intended to do to you, Nikki, to you, Shamak? Or maybe I've heard some guys say, that doesn't do anything to me, it doesn't bother me. Some ladies say the same thing. What was the experience for you?
Well, it did stir up a lot of, feelings, erotic feelings. I cannot lie about that. It's like a drug, I think they actually say that the same chemicals that are produced in the brain, for various reasons, is produced in the brain when you watch porn. So it gives you a high. There's no doubt about that. And I think that is where it can become dangerous if you overdo it. Like there's a possibility that you can become very numb to, actually being with another human being, like intimacy and that kind of thing.
You mean as a result of watching the porn?
Yes. Yeah, because you can become so addicted to the porn that somebody else doesn't even matter. Anything you overdo can have, like serious repercussions. So I seriously think that we need to keep that in mind. I don't think there's anything wrong per se in watching porn, but you have to do it in moderation, like anything else.
But we human beings don't really practice moderation.
Well, that's the sad part. That's why self-control comes in. You know what I mean?
And most of us are not self-controlled. Most of us.
That is where the process has to be
and
trusted.
a lot of us go through life, our entire lives, without exercising any self-control. Most human beings are that way.
Yeah.
So how does one know when it may be the wrong thing for me or you? Because we already know that we're not self-controlled anyway. So how do we know that watching porn or getting into any other thing which may be harmful to us emotionally, mentally, etc., it seems as though we are doomed? Because if most of us are indisciplined, if we get into the practice of watching porn, it's going to end up being a problem because most of us don't have self-control.
I think that is where we have to take more time for ourselves, Andre, and we have to sit down and just do a lot of self-analysis, because let me tell you something. If you look deep enough, you will realize that something is affecting you, you know. It's just that we don't take the time to sit down with ourselves. But if you look deep enough, you will feel and you will know. And I believe that's where consciousness, like awakening, comes in. Like we just so external, like fixated on outward. We don't go inward, and then we just so filled with wanting to be pleasured and feel pleasure. So we don't really take the time out to analyze and reflect and stuff like that. I don't know if it makes sense, but if you like you can learn self-control. It can be learned, but you have to want it, and you have to be aware that, hey, I don't have self-control in a particular area and I need it. And I believe that if you become aware that you need to have self-control in an area, you will develop it gradually, slowly but surely, but you have to want it badly enough.
Shamak, what's your take now?
What's the question again? I was just listening.
Oh, sorry, you said, okay,
the
sorry.
question, yeah.
Yes, you were asking why do you think people watch porn, get involved in it, knowing that we don't have that kind of self-control to stop. Let me just, before you answer, let me give you a story to back up what I'm saying. A lady called me at a particular place of work, and she said to me, come and I need you to see something. So when I got there, she said to me, she has this worker, this guy. She says the guy is always on this computer. He's always there. So she's thinking that he's doing his work. And she said one day she just decided, let's just go and check and see what's going on. And when she opened the computer, she realized that the guy was just watching porn non-stop on the job, non-stop. So here's a guy definitely, hooked to porn to the point where it's even affecting his place of, his employment. And of course, they had to let him go because he wasn't doing his work.
But I think porn is something you're supposed to. Well, I guess for me, I mean, like, you've watched porn, but in your private space. To me, I have to be, my pillows well behind my head, my drink there. You have to create that zone, that comfortable zone. You can't just watch porn sitting in your car. Who does that? Just watch porn in the beach. What? You have to create that vibe. So when it comes to swing, you swing. You do what you have to do. But I don't think there's anything, as you said, my earlier years, it was the Prince, but I don't think there's anything, because you wanted, for me, porn was like sex education. There was stuff you wanted to learn. That's why I learned about the golden shower, when a hot man pee on you, quiz taking you. At that time, smelling love pee, you just feel like it's gold that on you. That's why I guess they call it a golden shower. But it's stimulating your mind for sure. But for me, I don't like watching white porn. I think that's like watching soft candle. I'd rather watch a black man that's well defined. I feel like it's a fruitcake I eat in there. So it have a different vibe to its own. I don't watch female porns and stuff like that. I rather watch gay porn. I think it's a little more interesting. It's more exciting. The vibe is different. And I just don't want you to be just naked. I like the when you do foreplay, watch somebody in the office, somebody come and deliver a pizza, somebody come and cut your electricity, this kind of storyline. So it's kind of more interesting. So you just show how people connect and it open your mind, because sometimes, even now, some people, presently, as with Nikki and I, when we was coming here, it was like, some people just think sex is just about come and... No, there's so much more to it. So you look at the foreplay, how they interact and stuff like that. But the problem comes, as we said earlier on, is when you have an addiction, I think if you cannot control it, I think it's really not a good thing to do that at work, or even certain places to leave it on certain gadgets that your children come across it and stuff like that. I think it's something that has to be done in your private space, and when you're done, you kind of clear the screen and stuff like that. But you can control that.
So if I understand you correctly, Shamak, and let me see if Nikki agrees, do you think most people, especially when we are young, we watch porn to learn what to do?
I think for the younger people, they are curious, because when they see, they start laughing. They maybe laugh at the size of the person's genital and stuff like that. But eventually, they learn stuff and they might want to put it into practice.
But do you agree that most people, or younger people, watch porn, even those who are not probably even sexually active, to learn, and maybe they're just curious. Because as you know, it's like a taboo subject at home. Nobody talks about that.
It was about talking about sexual education at school. When they're talking about the vagina, the penis, the girls laughing and the teachers saying, yes, it's all I will get pregnant first, which I think was a bad thing back in the days to tell somebody child. But at the end of the day, people are at this age always so fascinated about a vagina and a penis. Someone needs to come to carnival. Everybody's naked. Nobody makes a big deal. I guess it's a different scenery and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I think for the younger people, it can affect you in some way because you can get hooked on it. It's, they have what you call sex addiction, sex addicts and stuff like that. And I think it's something that you can control. And when you can become an addict, you don't look at any face. You might just sleep with anything that crawls. So you have to be very careful.
I want to go back to the point about we watch to learn. And I said something a while ago, which is important. At home, this is not discussed at all. Right? It's just
I think they have some couples who discuss it, they might sit down and...
No, what I'm talking
not
about...
very often, you know.
What I'm talking about is the how-to.
Right.
The how-to. This is something that is just not... I mean, if their parents would discuss that sort of thing, I don't know. They
discuss it with their children, like
how-to. How-to, exactly. That's very important.
I don't think that's common.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yes.
I don't think it's common, but I think they have parents who... Because funny enough, my sister, after me, saw her period. We did not know what was that. We was playing on the house and I started screaming. I thought it was something that she was dying. All the time she just started menstruating. So
it's not discussed.
It's something I think now parents are a little more open, especially because you have younger parents and stuff like that. You know, back in the days they tell you a baby falling from the sky and all that kind of thing. You believe that. So children now are a little more open. You trust me.
No, but
with the advent of technology, meaning the internet, you don't even have to tell children anything. Trust me. A group would be gathered there and one would, just bring up a subject and all they have to do is go on the phone and they see just right in your face.
Even on Facebook, you see videos where they have sometimes dummies showing dolls giving births and stuff.
Yeah, even if parents don't talk about it, trust me, it's so readily available, which is probably why parents need to ensure that they at least, find the time to talk to the children about certain things, or else it can be corrupted along the way. So,
but it's challenging, especially if you're talking to, say, a 5-year-old. It's very challenging. I mean, and the child were to ask you something, how was I born? I don't see how that's a real challenge to explain something.
You have to be open with them because then they'll find it out another way anyway.
Yeah. So I don't say no.
You don't just dump it on them. But if they come to you and ask, honestly, I seriously think if they come to you and ask, you have to just... Because it is what it is.
I think there's ways you can sugarcoat it, and as that child get older, you feed them with it. Because a lot of children, sometimes the problem comes where they learn stuff from the wrong people.
Yeah,
they give out the information the wrong way. You understand? It's almost like you find out I was gay, and then somebody find out, my mother find out that from somebody else. To me, it's better coming out from me. I want to see your expression. Hey, you say you love me, not because I tell you I'm gay, you want to pull out and stuff like that. Hey, where's the love? That's the time your love have to kick in. So I think it's something that people have to discuss. And even though sex is a very important too, because even for a lot of young girls now, they have a lot of sex, they get cancer of the cervix, or how do you call it? And then at the end of the day, they just think that their body is not even well mature yet. So there's sex education has to be a topic. And if you don't know how to do it, you can get yourself damaged in the process,
Exactly. And if we don't do it, or if we don't know how to do it, this is, I think, the reason. I could be wrong, tell me. A lot of young people, especially, I can think of my days where that was not discussed in my home at all, period, right? You were just curious to know. So if a partner of yours says to you, I have a book with some pics there, let's go and watch it because you're curious to know. And I
believe you because they had one time, they had a little piece of a magazine, I had that in my boy. You saw as a coat, like a magic coat to disappear. Just the photo was so interesting. You watch it and it fading away and you try to, what? You can't go and laminate it because in these days they say, what you doing with that? But then now, I guess as you get mature, there's no need for that and stuff like that. Even sometimes people have sex videos and stuff like that. And please don't say that to my phone. I'm mature. I know what it is, but it's something that I don't see anything wrong with porn. I guess if somebody coming from a religious point of view, they'll have a issue with it. But basically, it's just like watching an action movie or whatever it is. But just like they have rated R movies and stuff like that. So you choose your surroundings, who you're going to have porn with. And I think porn is not something just watching it for anybody. Because me as a gay man, a straight, I'll not invite a straight man to come and watch porn with me. One, all that stimulation, what's happening? You come and tell me you're going home.
But here
something has to be done.
Here you are. Oh, here you go. You're actually saying it stimulates you.
Yes.
So is that the reason you watch it?
But no, that's not the reason you watch. But sometimes you maybe just want to watch something interesting. You say, let me go. But I'm saying, Andrew, it is not something you can just invite a girl to come and watch. Hey, let's I have this thing they send me. Let's say they have a hot one that come out. If it's dolls that doing it or whatever, AIs or whatever, but you want to watch it. But you cannot just invite somebody you have there. I mean, like, suppose there are a lot of stuff happen, activities happen after. So, my God, I'm sorry, I cheated, I do this because of what they was watching, and we start looking at each other, and everybody going daisy, everybody's spinning around, and something happened. So, most times it's something that you can watch with your partner or by yourself in your private space.
I think people watch porn for various reasons.
Yeah.
Some people watch it because of the high it gives. Others watch it out of curiosity. Others watch it because they want to learn. And honestly, it may sound strange. Others watch it because they're disgusted with it and they just want to. Seriously, some people they watch.
You say they watch it. They're disgusted.
Yes,
with
but
it.
they still watch it. Yes.
So why is that?
Andre, people can be funny. Seriously.
Strange, you mean?
Yes.
I believe you, because even growing up, some people don't like you as a gay person. They look at you, they stare at you, they call you, and then they call your name. So they can watch it if they're disgusted with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you don't like me, why look at me and call me? Why make me an issue?
That's
I shouldn't
to show you.
be an issue. You shouldn't even mention my name because you're disgusted by me. Why make me an issue? I shouldn't be a topic over breakfast, over lunch. And it happens a lot when people see you, they discuss it like.
Yeah. And another thing too, the issue I have also is you see child pornography. That to me should be totally gotten rid of. That to me is horrible. Let adults make their choice and go into this thing, because you know what I suspect? A lot of people who actually carry on into adulthood with that porn thing is because they were introduced to it at a very, very, very early age. So again, it can be addictive. You know, and you just have to be careful about this thing. But I do not see it as a quote unquote bad thing per se, because it's a part of our human existence. It's a part of us. Probably like some people will say, especially in the religious communities, they would say like this thing is blown way out of proportion because it's supposed to be a sacred
My
thing.
sister, all those that say that, sorry to cut you short, they do the share porn already.
Right,
The girls do the share porn already, and now they want to come and blacklist you.
Yes,
But funny
yes.
enough, when you look at that, porn is always, imagine people record themselves because you just want to see yourself in. I've never done that. I know I'm a diva. I know my shit. So, some people record themselves to look at and they say, yeah, baby, what? To look at themselves, and then they say they will delete it afterwards, and they don't. And that video leaks. I think it's not something. To me, we're going into that contract, no phones. At the end of the day, people record themselves to look at themselves because they just want to see themselves in action. And you're fascinated by looking at your own self, because when you're in action, and we're doing it, Nikki, it's not that you're just looking at for the feeling and the orgasm and stuff.
Yeah,
but afterwards, when you're like, what? You maybe want to see where you could have gone better, or you maybe just like to see the way Nikki was screaming and stuff like that. So some people, that even giving them an extra turn on, so the next time they'll know what to do, what angles to go and stuff like that.
It depends on why you're doing it, but at the end of the day, like I said, people do it for various reasons, and it would be interesting to hear why people have actually watched it and what came out of it. And
another too. I mean, you're an adult now. You know what life. You have a boyfriend. You have a girlfriend, husband, a wife, and you still feel you need to watch that. So tell me why.
You still feel, because sex never get boring. We have single sex, a man and a woman. Sometimes we have threesome, twosome, group sex, total sex. So all the time the sex just keep getting better. So it depends. You want to always try something different. Some people want to try something different. You understand? To me, I wouldn't do group sex. That's like being a bunch of grips. But people, it's just so crazy.
So why watch the porn? I'm saying, what's the point? What's the point?
No, but it's just like, why watch football? Why watch Miss Universe?
Because you're a football fan.
No, remember what I said. Remember the meaning. Remember the meaning. It stimulates.
Andrew,
Yeah, but
it
listen,
stimulates.
it's stimulated because guess what? You had to go and look for the meaning, right? So because some people go and watch porn now this morning, they're not going to look for the meaning. They just think I go and watch porn.
But I'm telling you now.
The effect it has on them.
Exactly.
That's a
no,
big
but sometimes if it's your first time going and watch porn, you would not even know. And funny enough, they have people that would watch it, and when they will, after the clip is done, they're the same way, and some people, they might get some funny feeling, some might get aroused, somebody that might, but at now, this point then now, if you're going to watch a porn, it's like, okay, you just maybe want to watch it because
There's a reason.
We want to learn something new. Or most times in the past when I was there, when I go and watch for my sister because I want to do Pam and Pamela. So I don't know what I going and do already at that time. You understand?
So why do you still need to watch it?
No, but because you have new ones coming out, because you have porn stars, you have some porn stars you follow, Andre.
The stimulation.
Not the stimulation, but you have some porn stars, they like movie stars, so you watch them to see the different clips and stuff like. But it's not about the effect because it's almost like you become a fan, and that particular fish, John. John have a new clip coming out and stuff like that. There's a particular guy they call him Castro in the Gay Pound, and he's fabulous. He has a body, he has a package. I mean, like, you even need a mastercard for that because he's all equipped. He's there. So sometimes you want to watch the different scenes they have in him because each time they do a scene is a different character, maybe a plus size person, a skinny person. So sometimes it's just the whole thing is different.
So even today they come up with new ideas. They have every day have new ideas, something we've never seen before.
Exactly.
Nikki.
Honestly, I think it's a recycling thing, yes?
Yeah.
You know,
Never. I have it recycled, my girl. What kind of porn have you been watching? Black and white?
What new thing again?
I mean, how new can we get when it comes to sex? Like, really?
So that means you're telling me first date you'll get tired of me because you'll get how new can we get?
No. Like, I mean, honestly, it's the person you do it with, you know. That matters a lot, you know? So
no. But it's like a movie. Some people perfect. Some people would watch the Titanic movie about 20 times. And you say, but why watch it 20 times? But every time you look at it, there's something you miss in the first time, the second time, yes. Or maybe you just like the whole movie, how she going, Chuck. So sometimes you just like something about it. Because there's some particular porn. I have watched a particular porn several times. I just find that one was just giving me what I want. It had the juice.
Agree.
The fireworks was there in that particular one.
Trust me, I know what you mean. You see, talking about that, I know exactly what you mean because I've been in a situation like that where I would watch a particular one because I knew what effect it had on me.
My girl, it's getting hot.
Seriously, I knew what effect it had on me, and I would go back to that particular one because the ultimate end was the bomb for me.
Thank you.
So I know what it is you mean.
So Nikki, tell us because I mean I'd like to know.
You open a can of worms there.
Since you're visually challenged, I don't like to use impaired, visually challenged.
Yeah.
How do you make it out? How do you see it or hear it or whatever?
I go a lot by sound. That
I believe you, Nikki, because even sometimes when you're kissing, you have to close your eyes. But you say, but it's because people kissing and they close their eyes. You always wonder why, but maybe it's just to take it in. So
sound for me, it has a lot to do with sound.
I believe you because you never see a porn without sound.
Well,
the sound is a very important part in it.
So that is very, you know.
So Nikki, there's a certain part of the thing that
seriously
causes you to come back.
Yeah,
back for more.
Yeah, and you know, funny. I mean, I learned something that I didn't even think was possible. Should I even say that on the air? Honestly, how graphic can I be? Like, really? Okay, so I always used to hear that a woman can, you know, like have a climax independent of touching herself. And I tried it, and you know, it works. I mean, you sit down, you cross your legs.
No, you don't have to go into any kind of details.
No.
That's all right. But there's a downside to this thing, you know. When I was, when I used to watch this thing, and I'll be honest, I haven't watched that thing in years, simply because I know of the effect it has on me. That's for sure, right? And I know the effect it has had on me already. As I said to you a while ago, I remember everything, every detail. And I probably was in my early 20s, somewhere around there. And then maybe around my 30s, I said, let me stop watching this thing because of the effect it was having on me. So I stopped, right? And I haven't watched it since. In fact, ask me how to get on a site or anything. I have no idea. In fact, I don't want to know because of the fact I know the effect it has on me. Now, when I used to watch this thing, there was a very popular guy, handsome dude in those days. His name was Ron Jeremy. If you ever heard of him, Ron Jeremy, he was one of the most popular porn stars in his day. He was very handsome, looked like a Spanish guy or Italian or something like that. I'm not too sure. But this guy, I think maybe about maybe 5 years ago, something like that, he was arrested and charged, right? Listen to this, for dozens of rape and sexual assault cases. Here's a guy, one of the most prolific porn stars. Prolific porn stars. Almost every movie I used to watch in those days was Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right? And imagine the judge said that he was not even fit to stand trial because apparently he had lost his faculties. He had gone insane. Yeah, he was not even fit to stand trial. So I don't know what's the latest on him. I don't know if he's still alive, if he died, but I remember that I followed that case very, very well.
So basically what you're saying, the porn had a negative effect on him.
On him. It really messed him up. Really messed him up.
But I would not, that's kind of weird for somebody who's actually doing porn. You're getting it for free and at the same time you're getting paid.
Exactly.
And to be
dozens.
sexually harassed.
Yeah, dozens.
Sometimes,
So you see what
not sexually harassing, rape.
I think sometimes the women was fascinated with the man, and when they finish, they say it's rape afterwards. These crabs, so they
maybe, but obviously these cases went to court and
wow.
it was serious, very serious.
But you see the point I was trying to make to you, Andre. You came to the realization about the effect, that watching porn had on you. All right, people need to be more aware of, like their mind and body talking to them. That's what we do. Some of us numb out. You understand? You must know, that something is having a certain effect on you, and you must know that you probably need to curb the amount of times you watch it or stuff like that. Sometimes we just become calloused and numb.
I wonder, because I've heard it already, I wonder if there's some people that this thing just has no effect on them, period.
Of course.
You think so?
I know so. I mean...
Remember, human beings, we might think everybody's the same because if I'm a certain way, I cannot think everybody else just like me. No, they have some people just like they have good men, good women, they have some people it wouldn't have an effect on them. They're like, okay, whatever.
Just different levels, that's all. Some people, they impenetrable to that. That's just how it is.
And don't you think maybe for some people, again, who can't control themselves, that they graduate now from the regular adult porn to watching child porn?
Yeah, definitely.
Because they,
or even watch
even the videos with human beings having sexual relations with animals.
Bestiality.
I've seen that already.
That I have an issue with. Honestly, to me, that's taking it too far.
Which one?
The both children and bestiality. But again, Andre, these things exist, and some people get a kick out of that.
And
so
the
industry knows that.
Yeah, they can't get enough.
Yeah, the
but I think some people would watch it and just to laugh and to kick off and stuff like that. But to me, I don't. For the person to watch it and get turned on by that means you can actually practice it. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying. I remember growing up in Girls Today, there was a guy called him Kokebet. He used to swim animals and stuff like that. But I think he got shot. The police shot him and stuff like that. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Tall guy, black. He was looking like a Zeus kind of fella. Yeah.
I wonder if guys like Ron Jeremy, who had that porn affected him in that way, that negative impact on his life. I really wonder what the negative impact is on females now, because it is my understanding that more men, again I could be wrong, watch the porn than women, but apparently some women do, or many females do. I wonder what the effect is, if there's any negative effect on
the porn had, and then to be sleeping with so many different people. And to be taking in so much different energies from different people, I think that maybe can have an effect on you, because sometimes they just meet and they say, Andre, here's Nikki, you all are doing the same today. And you don't know Nikki from anywhere, just that they maybe run the tests and stuff like that to make sure both of you are medically fit. And then boom, you'll get to maybe have they actually sometimes make them watch a little porn before they actually start the activity. Because it's a whole movies and act, they're actually making out, but then so and to basically with all these different persons and taking all these different energies and stuff like that. And then guess what? You're not even attracted to the person. You just sleep in because it's a job. So if you're looking at it so deep, it would maybe have an impact on you. Because sometimes when you go, it's like, okay, and then next week, and you just keep doing it. So eventually you'd have to say, when do you cut off?
So here's a female there. I mean, Nikki. So what effect did that have on you? Doesn't matter to you? It didn't have any effect? It never changed your life in any kind of significant way?
Honestly, Andre, I think if you continue, like for me, I don't know. It's not like I was watching it so much up to a point where I became desensitized to a human being, but I believe that can be the ultimate result, I can safely tell you that when I was watching it, I felt more comfortable just doing things on my own, and it didn't necessarily mean I had to have somebody, So I believe if you progress, if you continue all right, to watch this thing or indulge in it over a prolonged period of time, it can have an effect on you whereby you just like you maybe feel well, okay.
You don't need a male or you don't need a female.
So do you still watch porn, Nikki?
Not very often. Not like before for sure. I can safely say not like before. No. Now another thing too.
Half a week.
No, not even that. It's been months since I last watched that, But what I'm saying is sometimes like I would watch it just to catch my kicks. Certain sounds, they just crack me up, seriously, certain sounds, and it's crazy. Like somebody will say, okay, I looked at this and that, and then it cracked me up. But I can safely say certain sounds really crack me up.
And you watch this thing by yourself, or you must have your significant other?
No, it would have depended, but more often than not by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, I don't have to ask my friend. I mean, I know.
No, but most times it's by myself. But I haven't done that in a while because with work, you're always busy and stuff like that. Is you call it a little curriculum activity, just something, in your own zone.
But
Just
funny,
that.
some people grow out of it and others become more addicted to it. So what is the difference? That's the
There are people sometimes that are rushing home and they're rushing home to a rose or they're rushing home to some sort of pornography kind of vibes, and you're thinking there are people that are in situations where you think your husband or your partner is physically cheating with an actual female, and it's maybe it's the sex toys or maybe just porn. When you play, it's like,
So isn't that an interesting question? How do some people grow out of it, but others become more and more addicted to it? Is it a brain thing? I don't know.
I guess it's maybe that. What's the word?
Self-control? Self-control?
Not self-control. They get that. They like that feeling. The
erotic.
The
erotic feeling.
Feeling that you guys, you just want more. So it's almost like I don't smoke or anything like that. But if it's a high, sex gives you a high. So eventually it will last 1 hour. You're there an hour, half an hour, 5 minutes, whatever the person can. But eventually it dies out. So you say, man, that's 4 o'clock. I go do something. Watch up on there before I go grocery Friday night. You understand? So people do it for different reasons, and then whatever the person do it. I think as long as there's no children involved in it and you're not hurting anybody, I don't have a problem with it.
Let me just remind our listeners, if you just want to, give us a call and be part of the discussion, the fixed line is 572-9710, 572-9710, or the WhatsApp platform 2870971, WhatsApp platform 2870971. Again, the fixed line number is 572-9710, 572-9710. And the WhatsApp platform is 2870971. WhatsApp 2870971. Okay, now let me ask Nikki a question now. So, Nikki, what do you think of guys who watch a lot of porn?
You can watch your porn, but just don't think you come in and practice your stuff on me. That's it. Honestly, no, seriously, you want to watch your porn, I don't know, but don't think, because this is entertainment, don't try to think you're going to come and try your acrobatics and all. No. Honestly, and like I say, it's about self-control, all right? But then if you're watching it too often, it can filter down. And some of these men, what happens is that they make a lot of comparisons. They want to, and we must remember this is only entertainment. This is entertainment. Don't make it into, a thing where you feel like, you have to try this and you have to try that. Because a lot of these women who go into the porn and stuff, they high on drugs. A lot of these the men too. That's entertainment.
Yes.
So we must not lose sight of that.
I've heard actresses say to take a certain pic, for example, they had to literally get drunk.
But of course, come on, So people have to keep that in mind, We must not lose sight of that.
So what I'm saying, if you with a guy and you see this guy, he is like a habit, always want to watch porn, would you be concerned about that if that's your boyfriend? Would you be concerned?
Honestly, Andre, to a certain extent, to a certain extent, honestly, because I'd be like, but, what's the point of being with somebody if you're just so deeply into that porn thing?
It can affect the relationship. If you've watched the movie The 7 Shades of Grey or something like that, the man would be intimate with the female, and afterwards he'll still go to the washroom.
Yeah.
And do Pam and Pamela.
But honestly,
after he's done.
Yeah.
To me,
So
that's his cross,
it's almost like it's not because it's just a part of life. It's just that he feels complete after you go to do that. So Yeah.
And I think that's why open communication
Now, some
comes in.
females can take offense to that. It's almost like you're not attracted to me, or I'm not good enough for you. So it's almost like the porn. There are people that break up for that already.
That is
Even
so
they have
true.
some women. If you go, come on, guys, if you go in the panty drawer, that dildo or whatever it is hides somewhere. And then if they want, the husband goes to work. I mean, like, it's karate time. Everybody's having fun. So at that time, the man would say, I'm not good enough for you and stuff like that. But it's just a little rose. She's just having fun. And then,
That's where communication comes in, You have to let the person know, hey, I may be doing this, but then it's not you, it's me. That's how
I think sometimes they have little things like that. I think if it's not actual cheating and the person watching something, it can affect, but I mean, as a person, little secret, you have your little me time in your little studio. I don't see there's nothing wrong, because we all have our little guilty pleasures. People do. As human beings, sometimes they would not open their mouth and say, to me, nobody can beat me. So that's why I'm very vocal. I think you say what you have to say. Somebody else will not sit there and say, oh, I used to masturbate back in the days. Come on, you're a human being. People do stuff. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I didn't do anything illegal. It's you touching your own body. It's like I'm my own body mechanic. You understand? So if people are open and stuff like that, people don't have the dark little secrets, and there are people we look up to. And then when you say, hey, that so and so, like, yeah.
So let me go back to Nikki again. So let's give another scenario, right? If you see maybe your best friend is a female, and you notice your best friend's boyfriend is like a habitual imbiber of porn, would you be concerned for your friend?
Honestly, the level I'm at now, no. Because porn in and of itself cannot hurt you, It cannot hurt the relationship. It is what you do, okay, with what you see and what you hear. For example...
But why do you say it cannot hurt the relationship? Because if for example, as we said earlier, I hope we agree that a lot of us human beings do not have self-control. We're very indisciplined.
Yes.
So the fact that we're indisciplined, the fact that this thing is supposed to be arousing this erotic emotions in an individual, that alone tells you that there's some negative consequences to that thing. If not for everybody, at least for some.
Yeah, no doubt.
It can hurt some
Honestly,
relationships.
I think, okay, back to your question. All right, if we have to go on this on the premise that it really brings out a lot of erotic feelings and stuff like that, okay, yeah, some concern would be had, all right, for my friend, knowing what it can lead to, because a lot of times...
So the same thing wouldn't apply to you, and because you said a while ago that not really. You said not really.
No.
But you'd be concerned for your friend.
Yes.
But you wouldn't be concerned about yourself.
Nope. Funny, eh? I know, funny. Yeah. But seriously, Andre, like, again, all right, as long as people understand that this thing is entertainment, and you don't have to make it, like an integral part of your life.
That's if we live in a perfect world.
We don't.
Yes, so
we don't.
But I think, Shamak, you're agreeing that that could create some problems.
It can create some problem, because for some men, they like the feeling that they get from the porn than the actual female. So most times they put more effort into the porn than the female, because they will just maybe rush the activity with the female, and in the porn they just put more effort. For some people it's so serious, it's like they have a relationship with the porn. They program themselves, the time, they have the container of the grace, they just have that feeling, and they wait for the house is empty, and you'd think that they're actually cheating with a particular person, but no, it's just to watch porn, and then they get so addicted to it, So, but it's, as Nick had said a while ago, and you said, it's self-control, because some people, if you, by the time you dive into it, you drown your whole
exactly.
head. You cannot. Some people, it's very difficult to get out, and they're addicted to it, and today they don't see it as a problem. They just look at it as a guilty pleasure.
I would imagine there are lots of people, lots of males maybe, who need help in that regard and wouldn't go for help, period. They just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Now, some men they have men not into a lot of porn because maybe they're very shy in terms of approaching a female, or they have a low self-esteem, and they figure, I got some movie these girls there, and they're just going to help themselves, and they're good to go, and they're happy. Some people, you'd see them and you'd never tell. The funny thing about this situation is not written on anybody's face. The person you think who does not indulge. That's the funny thing about that. You understand? So that's what it is. It's just that I guess if anybody's listening, you have to control yourself. It's a balance. You shouldn't get lost in it. Because if you get lost in it, you just lose yourself and you cannot find your way back home.
And a lot of hours go by, and so many more important things could have been done, but then you just stuck on that thing and
and it's funny, some people.
That's a good point, Nikki. That's a good point because we should be really and truly about our purpose.
Yeah.
What we're here for, and to make ourselves.
Man.
Like for example, Shamak has a guy who's followed his life's dreams or his purpose and so on. He's into it. He spends most of his time. I imagine you're the same thing, Nikki. Despite your challenges, right? You have all this talent. Just was a few days ago. I played some music from your group. By the way, what's up with that group?
The Universal Connection.
We're
still going, I actually did some instrumentation on a track, I think day before. So,
So can you imagine if you spending all your time or most of your time watching, you're just wasting a lot of time. And then, of course, for some of us, and we don't know exactly who that's going to be, developing a very, very bad habit. Okay, I think we have somebody on the line, on the fixed line. Thanks for calling. Good morning. Hello.
Yeah, morning, Andre.
Hey, what's up there?
Morning, Nikki.
Good morning, hi.
And Shamak is out there as well.
But hear that, my boss. They have certain women, when you go and sex them, and when you finish sex them, the kind of smell you just take out from them. Now, if you stay by yourself, and now I'm serious, because it happened to me already. Because I don't deal with one woman when I know I used to be in my thing. Now, when you get with them, you sex them. After you sex them, kind of smell you take out from them, inside of the womb. Inside of the womb, Papa, to tell you, you never take a smell from an old rotten egg. Yeah, and when you take them kind of smell, like you notice for women,
So you give up, my friend? You give up already?
So what I think to myself is best. I just enjoy myself by myself.
Well, if that's what you want to do, and you're not hurting anybody, my dear, I'm pushing you. Do it. There's a reason for it, huh?
Because you see the women and them looking so nice on the face, so nice on the face, so nice on the body, and when you go and sex them, after sexing them, the kind of dirty smell you take in.
God.
Yeah. Okay, my friend. Thank you very much for the contribution. Thank you.
I'll tell you what,
that's another discussion,
Yes.
that I guess maybe that's not for us because I guess we're not professionals, but it is a complaint I've heard very, very often from men that they do get disappointed as to why that happens. I don't know, maybe as a lady, Nikki, what is it that the ladies aren't aware of what's going on?
Let me tell you something. I've learned over the years, diet has a lot to do with this. Sexual practices.
Well, you're right about that, but I think they're deep. I think Shamak touched on it a little earlier. The different individuals that some women
that is another thing. When you go promiscuous, then like you pick up, because every male has a scent.
Exactly.
So then everything is just there. And that's why I tell you, boy, if we were taught these things way back, because a lot of us, we learned along the way, having different sexual partners can cause you to pick up certain scents and things like that. It's that's why I bought oh Lord. I feel for the man that called there, because some people will say, you know what, instead of them having to go through all of that, it's better they just don't do anything with anybody. I understand that, Seriously. Yeah.
And I wonder if this is across the board, meaning should we think that it's certain types of ladies depending on where they come from, that sort of thing? Or
I don't think so.
It's across the board.
Across the board. Let me tell you, let me tell you, like he said, they look so pretty and they dress so nice and but then when you go there, it's another issue. And some people, I'm telling you, they just do not take good care of themselves down there. Some women, they just don't.
Well, the body naturally cleans itself. I think sometimes as a female, the same way we can service our vehicle, you can go to your general practitioner, just do a little checkup.
Natural stuff.
Let's just hold that thought, okay? Hold that thought. We have another call. Sure. Good morning. Thanks for holding. Good morning. Hello? Hello? Okay, I guess they probably hung up or something. Yeah, okay. Call is coming through again. Good morning.
Good morning, brother Andre.
Hey, morning.
We expect me to on the call. Are you know, according to your grandfather, are you know, they expect me not to call on that show on the ball? Tell me again. Now, let me handle Alicat there. Nikki,
Oh,
what
boy.
I
Alicat, coming for you.
Alicat, you know, I don't understand you.
Why?
Let me put something. According to the lawyers, I put this to you. Alicat, what is marriage for? What is marriage for? Tell me.
What is marriage for?
Uh-huh.
Two people come together. Okay, they love each other. They decide to remain, like committed. They raise a family, all of that, and they can do whatever they want in the bedroom.
Definitely. That's number one there. You hit it from there.
Yeah.
Alicat, marriage is for everything. So Alicat, you and I get married, and we watch now on TV one night. We watch it Cinemax. Alicat person show up on Cinemax, right? And I decide to say Alicat. I say, Alicat, let's have it tonight from the back. Because I mean, no.
Of course, I'll tell you no if I don't want to know. No.
Yeah, you is my wife?
Pardon?
Yeah. And you is my wife?
No, but Alpha,
Why
even
not?
though
I
she's
can
your
say
wife,
no, eh?
sometimes, especially if the person haven't done that, you have to give them time to adjust.
No. But,
So
Alicat,
anything
my
you
wife.
want, I must give it to you.
Of course.
No, my friend, in your mind alone. No, it must be consensual, Mr. Charles. It must be consensual.
No, Alicat, you're my wife. That was my fault. For sickness in health, to bad
Listen, that's just a perception, I don't forward that, huh? You see that? No.
But even though somebody's your wife and then she tell you she's not in a mood tonight and you force herself and then she can
That's
say
rape.
it's rape. It has happened.
They don't want to hear that, huh?
So back, they're not in the mood. Tonight, I decide to have it from the back. Are you going to go tell me no?
Of course.
No, but let me tell you, the back is very, the back, you have to have a blueprint and everything to go to the back. You can't just go to the back. So you have to give her some time to adjust and to take the situation.
For the record,
Alicat is saying no. She
For the
doesn't.
record, that's not my thing, so the answer will be no.
No.
Ma MSA. I don't like
I live in
that.
you.
That's
I live in
okay.
you.
Well, then you never loved me. You never loved me, and sex was a big issue.
Don't do that, say, don't.
Yes, I'm out for you.
Sasho.
Okay, my child sex.
Yes.
Sex before marriage is a sin. And that sin sweet. So,
Hey, Boje.
but to avoid that,
I hear you, but I would
All right,
say
Arthur
no. Eh?
Charles. All right, Arthur Charles, you made your point. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Bye. My goodness.
And that's a problem, that we have.
No, but seriously, Mr. Paul.
I think at the end of the day, the individual, whether it's the male or the female, they have the limits. Things that they want to do or they
Exactly.
do not want
You
to do.
cannot
And even if you're my wife or you're my husband, you have to
No,
understand.
I
I think some
that's-
people have the wrong meaning of wife and husband.
I
They
tell
think
you,
that they own you,
Yeah.
Right,
and it's
the
like they're like a
ownership.
slave master,
Yeah.
like a
The
master. It
ownership.
has the wrong concept
Yeah.
to it,
The
because I think
ownership.
still you have to be in your mood because sometimes maybe the person not in the mood internally and stuff like that, and that's what we were speaking about last week. Sometimes you have to stimulate that person and stuff like
but
that.
some people
There are
just
certain things I will not
are
try. I
exactly.
just don't
you
want
just
to.
don't want to.
No,
You just don't
that's
want
just
to.
not
Well,
me.
in that situation, she says she don't want to, so it's something that the husband or the boyfriend should understand.
And also should have known before.
Well,
because
you know, yeah,
because
that's where
he's saying
discussion comes in,
he would leave.
There are
Imagine
sometimes
that,
some people said you ask them something once, they say nah. 6 months later, you still come back because you're trying, because you're curious. They'll say nah, and eventually they'll think there are some people that'll give in to it. Some people, different people, but some people will stick to it and know is no.
There are certain things I
Yeah.
will never do when it comes to sex acts, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
No, I don't think you should be ashamed at all.
Right. So, Mr. Charles, I don't know.
All right.
Anyways.
Just a final question before we end. Why do you think the producers of the porn industry, why do you think they produce those movies?
Because they know it
Well, most
gives you
times
a
the
high
producers sometimes
money.
working for somebody. It's
Money.
because it's a part of life. I mean, like sex is a part of life. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just how people manage it. As we say, it's very taboo. So some people downplay it, and then the persons who downplay it are saying, no. They do more sex than we serve. That normal, and it's something that as time goes by, because when you go to these big countries, you can just walk into a store, buy a sex toy, like you go and buy a bony bread. You can just walk in, buy a magazine, buy a lingerie, whatever you want. But I think with time, people will adjust, and then they're getting there slowly. It's just about sex education, because you need to educate yourself in all parts of life as you go along.
But don't you think the main reason for making those films is simply because you want to make money? You want to make money.
So I bet.
Yeah,
You want to make money.
It's one of the biggest industries out there. I mean,
Yes.
You make
porn
money.
stars get quite a bit of money to
So doesn't
participate
that say something?
It does.
The fact that
It does.
they're doing these things to make money.
Exactly,
As you
that's
said,
what it
the
is, you know.
sex sells, they know that.
Yeah, they
so you're going to
know.
buy it.
And
Yeah.
they know what part of the brain they're hitting. I mean, this is a well orchestrated thing, you know. These people know what they do.
No, but it's just like anything else. Even though they do it, they're not forcing anybody to
That is true.
to think it. It's sex sells. It's just like prostitution. It's your choice. Because I might tell you, I'll give you $5,000. You tell me no, but when you go, when you think about it, you say, you know what you had to tell me earlier on. I think I'll go with it. So it's your choice. I mean, as an adult, yeah.
I know that, but still, the intention behind porn
Yeah,
is to make money. There's
Yes.
no two ways
Yes.
about it.
It's just like anything else. It's not just to make money. It's adult entertainment.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
To make money.
But all of the
Make
things
money.
is to make money. Everything we're doing
Exactly.
Money is the objective. Everything we do in life. They say, I enjoy my job, but it's to make money.
Yeah,
Your boss take
that's
out
the main
$20 and your
principle.
salary going to labor department. You want your money. So at the same time, you enjoy it.
The problem with that, Shamak, is that those people don't care what happens to you as a
That is
result.
it, like the drug,
They don't
the
care.
drug
No,
people, the
I wouldn't
drug
go
barons.
They
so
don't
deep
care.
because they have
Exactly.
some movies that people
You
would say,
think-
forget about the sex. They have some movies that they have all this demonic angst showing about Ouija boards and stuff like that. And some people say they don't watch it, but it's your choice.
I
Because it's
understand.
That
very,
is true,
I
it
but
understand.
will
they
have
don't
an
care
effect
what
on you
happens.
also.
That's almost like saying the drug problem, right? It's your choice.
Yes.
But then it becomes a
They
problem
still sell
for the
it.
country.
They
It becomes a
still-
problem. You have sick people out there because
Boy.
they're affected in a negative way,
I
and you
tell
have to get medication for them. You have to put them in a hospital or whatever. It's
All
like
of that.
it's like smoking cigarettes, right? You can smoke as much as you want, but at some point it's going to affect you, and then we have to pick up the tab.
Yep.
You understand? So the people are doing those things there. They don't come and say, well, let me support the hospital. Yes, I'm making billions of dollars at the end of the year. Let me give certain amount of money to hospitals who are
way.
helping people with psychological
way.
problems. No. They're just making their money, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I understand what you're saying, Shamak, that it's a choice
We
thing.
have a
That's
choice,
true.
but still, you know, it just goes to show how callous human beings
Can
have
be. Yeah,
become.
we don't
you
care.
know, we just don't care.
Yeah. You know, guys, next week, I want to just making a suggestion. Can we talk about how do you recognize a gold digger?
Ooh, oh God! And I
Shamak,
wonder
what do
where
you
that
think?
stems
I
from.
think it's a very
Yeah, that's-
interesting topic
So
because
we'll tackle that
there
one
are
next week.
times you're around people and then they dig in and then they're
That's
thinking
right.
that you know the way of it, but you have to give people a long rope to catch themselves, and you're very observant.
Yes. So
and
how do we recognize a gold digger?
Okay,
And I imagine
so-
that'll be for both male and female, right?
Yep.
Because you have males who are gold
Of
diggers as
course,
well.
of
So,
course.
so next week I'll come with my light. How they call these lights? The gold diggers that have the forehead.
All right. So we have a topic for next week.
Yes.
Okay. As always, thank you, Nikki.
You're
Thank you,
most
Shamak, for
welcome.
taking the time to be
Enjoy
here with
your
us.
weekend. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Pleasure being here.
All right. Same here.
Stay safe.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Okay, those of you watching on Facebook, don't go away because we have Hard Drive coming up next. Tony Paul and your studio will be vibing until 11. So, stay tuned. Keep it locked, especially those of you on Facebook.
Rev-Up St. Lucia is located at Unit 4, Gablewoods Mall, Sunny Acres, Castries, St. Lucia. Tune in to us at 97.1 FM and online at revupslu.com. Call the studio at 572-9710 or WhatsApp 287-0971. Our Rev-Up office numbers are 572-0383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio. You said you wanted a station to rev up the nation. And we heard you. Rev Up St. Lucia, here for you. 97.1 FM, the alpha of radio. Wake up and live. Wake up and live with Andre Paul.
I'm not going no small fete. Let me extend my apologies. Time for
Wake up and live with Andre Paul. Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. till 11. Exclusively on Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio. The Rev-Up Center. With Tony Paul.
All right.
let's get down to business.
I want you with me day and night. Popping bottles.
And then just boom, 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 till I get boom, boom, satisfaction.
The Rev-Up Center with Tony Paul. 11 a.m. till 3. Monday to Friday on 97.1 FM. It's another Rev-Up St. Lucia exclusive. Zen, the DJ. Revving up St. Lucia. Beat back.
Are you serious?
And the world.
Bare feelings that my carry.
Zen, the DJ. In the afternoon. Overdrive. Monday to Friday. 3 p.m. till 6 on 97.1 FM. Zen.
Stand by for Hard Drive coming up after this message.
Rev-Up St. Lucia is looking for a savvy, highly motivated sales professional to join our team selling our traditional, digital, and event marketing solutions to businesses. Our ideal candidate will be goal-oriented, a relentless hunter who drives to win new businesses and possesses a track record of exceeding monthly goals. If you're passionate about selling, have a deep knowledge of marketing principles and products, and possesses excellent presentation and closing skills, then we'd love to talk to you. Send your resume to info@rev-upslu.com. That's info at rev-upslu.com. Or give us a call at 572-0383. That's 572-0383. Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM comes alive as we kick off with Andre Paul from 5 a.m. and continuing throughout the day until we unleash our full programming for you, our loyal listeners, to enjoy.
From 5 a.m., that's when Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM will start to rev up the nation. We look forward to you joining us then. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you on Facebook, those of you who decided to stay with us and continue watching on Facebook and continue listening on 97.1 FM. Welcome to Hard Drive for today, Friday. My name is Andre Paul, and vibing with me is none other than my brother from the same mother, Tony Paul.
Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing today? Hope all is very, very well. Mm-hmm. And for those of you, as Andre said, who are still with us and who watched the first program, and those new listeners who might be checking in at this time, we welcome you to Hard Drive.
Indeed, indeed. So, Tony, how are things with you? I know that you're having continuing to have these challenges.
Yes.
Without going into details. So, how are things coming on?
Not bad. You know, we're hanging in there. Mm-hmm. All shall be well with the grace of God.
Alrighty.
Yeah, man.
Okay, before we start, just a little reminder again of the grand barbecue fundraiser in aid of medical expenses for Beatrice Miss Molly Brathwaite. Saturday, December 2nd, 11 a.m. onwards. This is in Philadelphia Row, Miku. Tickets are $20 and the menu, chicken, fish, and pork. Come support a worthy cause on Saturday, the 2nd of December. That's in aid of medical expenses for Beatrice, better known as Miss Molly Brathwaite. All right, so from time to time, I'll be reminding you of that particular event coming up. Anthony, talking about event, tonight your stroll is going to be at Dax again.
Oh,
Dax
okay.
Bar.
They have re-invited you.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
All right.
And the last time I played up until I think about what was it 10:30 somewhere around there, and I allowed the other DJ to come on. I always believe in allowing the guys to enjoy the crowd.
Yeah.
Man, but not tonight. They said the crowd says I have to play the whole night.
This is you. That's it.
They have to play the whole night.
You're on, as we say, right through. But you have a little bit of competition because also happening tonight, the Canon Laurie Anglican Primary School presents Step Back in Time and Dance Through the Decades. It's at the VBCC.
Oh, in Leclerc.
Yes, in Leclerc, And I got those tickets to give away. So if you're interested, a little later on, you can give me a call. Or maybe when we do the $97.1, maybe slip in one there for you.
I think so. I think so.
Right.
I think that'd be nice.
And proceeds, Andre, are in aid of improving school security. And you know how important that is.
Yes. Okay, that's for the Anglican school, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. As a little boy, I used to be at the Anglican school. I didn't attend.
The bazaar?
The school, the bazaar, were there, regularly.
What do you mean you used to be at the school?
Yeah, I was, remember, I was a scout at that time.
Right. I remember now.
So I was a scout, man. Yeah, that was fun, actually.
Being a scout,
Yeah,
right?
I enjoyed that.
And eventually I joined too. But in no time at all, that was it. I was done.
Yes.
I eventually joined being a scout. I remember that.
I enjoyed that little stint, man, being a scout. I really enjoyed that.
You did, huh?
Yeah, the uniform,
right.
The little discipline and so on. And there were fun things to do. All your partners were there.
And that's what the part I was about to say.
Yeah.
You have all your little partners with you, you know what I mean?
Norman Black was there. Ali was there, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see who else. Quite a few fellas, quite a few guys were there. Matter of fact, the guy who was actually leading the troop, I still see him today. Yeah, I still see him sometimes.
You don't remember his name?
I don't remember his name. Yeah, but I see him sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think every time he sees me, he waves me, and I suspect he probably remembers that time. Yeah, I probably say, but I never thought that man would become, a famous person. Yes. Okay, and also, Tony, tomorrow night I'm going to be at Hotel Chocolat.
Hotel Chocolat.
That's down in Soufrière.
Wow.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Dr. Beat is going to be there as well.
Oh, really?
Dr. Beat, I think DJ Remo, DJ Bucker, they're going to be there. So that should be a huge event.
Wow.
Yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, down in Soufrière.
Any idea what exactly is it about?
You mean in terms of the theme for the night?
Right.
I mean, Tony, it's country old school.
Country old school.
Yeah, country old school.
Okay.
But I suspect probably a lot more old school. The fact that you see Dr. Beat is there.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the best old school DJs on the island. So I'll be more than happy to be next to him and to hear some of the tracks that he plays.
Right.
Because sometimes, Tony, some of us are afraid to play certain tracks because we're not sure what the reaction will be. So we're afraid to take the little risk,
Don't I know it?
Yeah, and there's some DJs who take the risks and it works.
It's one of the things, Andre, why I keep saying I cannot DJ for a party. I can't do it. I'd play on the radio. I don't know if you enjoy it or not. If you don't enjoy it, you turn away. You know what I mean? I don't know. But to see I'm playing a song, I think it's supposed to be popular. It's a dance song. I don't nobody dancing to it.
Yes. Tony Boys, I tell you, sometimes it can be so risky because you play a song and sometimes just one individual will come and just wave you off like, what puppy show you playing, that kind of thing. Yeah, and sometimes a good song. Sometimes Tony, you play like, okay, let me see Whitney Houston, How Will I Know?
How Will I Know?
That's a popular song.
And you can dance to it,
And depending on where you are, right, on the island, where you're playing, you could see the people are singing the song but wouldn't dance to it.
Yeah.
So you have to cut it. Some fellas let the entire thing play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bamwe.
And no, that's not good.
Yeah. Once I see you're not really moving to it, well, dancing.
Right.
Because the whole idea is to get you on the floor.
Yes.
Right? And that you'll get hot, your temperature will rise, and go buy drinks.
So that's how it works.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, otherwise, the proprietor will not ask you to play again because you're not bringing the crowd. Yeah, they'll come by the bar. What's the point?
Nothing happening.
Yeah, what's the point? Yeah, man. All right. Just have to mention, Tony, the weatherman. He says that the waves are going to be quite high today, up to 8 feet.
I wonder why.
Well, I don't know.
Because usually it's, when it's breezy,
yes,
the waves
windy.
kick up. Yeah.
But we've had about 2 drownings for the week.
Yeah.
So again, small craft operators and sea bathers, you're advised to exercise caution due to above normal seas, up to 8 feet. So that's cause for concern. 2 drownings in 1 week.
That's right.
Yeah. I wonder what could have happened.
Yeah. And one of them I actually know. Yeah.
Okay.
Played football with him sometimes at behind the college. And when we heard that this guy drowned, all of us was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?"
Imagine that.
Yeah, man. You know, and he was probably early 40s.
Yeah. Is that the one up at is it Cap Estate? Cap Estate.
I think that's the one. Yes. Yes. Young guy. There's a picture of him. He has a big fish in his hand like that.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
That's the one that.
So that's him. Sad, man. That's a terrible way to go, you know. Terrible way to go.
Gosh.
Either that or you go through a fire. Oh, man, just the thought of that. So anyway, Tony, that's why every time I realize that the seas are rough or waves are high, I usually spend a little time reminding fisher folk and those who send their children to the beach and so on to be careful because and I imagine these days the seas are probably even the currents are even more powerful these days, I imagine, because the whole thing about climate change,
right?
Who knows what's going on there, man?
That's right. Right.
Remember when we used to be in the Malabar area there, a wave would just grab you. Now we're not afraid for whatever reason. We're just not afraid. That thing would just swell. You know, you like what they call it, the sea swells, and that thing would just grab you and roll you. And you toss it, underneath the water there, and you just have to allow it to do its thing.
That's right. That's right.
You can't fight it.
You remember that?
Yeah, you just have to allow it to do its thing.
Right.
Yeah,
because you can't fight it.
Like you can't fight it.
You cannot.
Yeah.
There are no branches to hold on to.
Nothing
like that. So you just allow it. You hold your breath while you're under there, and eventually do whatever it had to do to you.
Yes.
And then you just come up.
And to remember, when it goes to the shore, right, the wave goes to the shore, and then the sea comes back now,
yeah.
and like it pulls you out. And boy, we were just not afraid of that thing at all.
We were fearless because we were children. we
I don't know, Tony. I feel maybe folks, I could be wrong. I think maybe our parents' prayers or something. God is just what, because I sometimes say, but how did we escape those things?
Yeah,
we came back home.
We came back home after having such fun, because back then it was fun, fun days, man. Fun. We're going to ride the waves. Oh gosh, man. And you remember riding the waves? Most of us were young. We couldn't afford to buy flippers, right? Or fins,
Yeah, right.
And Andre, you can't stand up on the rocks because there were sea eggs.
Black sea eggs.
So you just have to be floating that kind of way and keeping yourself above water,
But I remember one time, I asked Mama to get me a pair of flippers, and she actually did. She got them. Yeah, and that changed. That changed the trajectory, man. Now, when you could ride a wave,
that changed everything.
Yeah, you could ride that wave, man.
That's right. You know who I remember used to have? Trumpy Lincoln.
Yes, for sure.
Trumpy, if you happen to be listening or watching on Facebook, good morning to you. Yeah, man. Trumpy always had fins, boy. And I remember sometimes as friends, look at that, as friends, Andre, sometimes you have a pair and you'd give your partner one.
Yeah.
So you stand
Yes,
up,
that's true.
You're balancing in the water on one foot.
Alrighty. Anything you want to mention before we vibe?
No, let me just make sure I tell you that we do want to give away that ticket, all right, for VBCC tonight. So we'll give away maybe a couple, like we said, perhaps one with the two of us, and then maybe a couple others later on during the show.
All right. Okay, Tony. Some real good news. I think over 3,000 pensioners, the government pays those pensioners. They received a one-time payment of $600. Well, they should have received it yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's hope there were no hitches or anything like that it was paid out. And that's really cool.
That is just so nice.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. $600.
Yes, along with
their regular pension.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really, really, really cool. So I want to say bravo to the government.
Bravo.
I think that's the second time they've done that, I think, in this year, if I'm not mistaken.
It's something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yes, they've done something like that. I don't remember if it were with the pensioners or with another group of people. Just don't remember who.
I wonder if that will eventually stop. Government at some point will say, okay, they just transfer that. But then again, I guess it's a little iffy because the person didn't really make contributions to the NIC. So I guess maybe that's why the government is continuing to do it. Because how do you transfer that sort of thing? These monies were paid a long time ago, and I imagine these monies are gone already. It's just that the government is on an obligation to continue making those payments. So I'm sure this is something that the typical government would wish they still didn't have to do. I imagine, Imagine over 3,000. It's a lot. It's a lot. Every month they have to, So that's a real cool thing. I just want to say congratulations, and I'm happy for all of you, right, who got that $600 payment. Beautiful, beautiful.
Definitely.
But I'm sure those, who are connected with the NIC are feeling a little jealous, if you will. Yeah, a little jealous. Yeah, and it's true. I think, Tony, let me just use the opportunity to say so. I think if the government can make that one-off payment, I think the NIC should match that.
Should try to match it, right?
Yeah, I mean, the NIC should match. I'm not saying people believe that the NIC is going to run out of money and so on at some point in time. Right? The NIC will run out of money if it's poorly managed. All right? And I think based on the assets of the NIC, certainly once in a while, apart from the regular payments, just do like what the government did there. Tony, can you imagine the pensioners who get like $400 a month or less?
Yeah.
Imagine how they would feel to get like $1,000. That'd be a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah.
A wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And some people just depend on just the little pension thing that they get there to pay their bills and so on, and they still have it rough. So I really hope. I know the Prime Minister has his heart in the right place.
Yeah.
I think this is a discussion he needs to have with the NIC. I know he doesn't have any sway. I'm not saying no, but he could use his influence to try to encourage them. And I hope the board of the NIC, I hope you're listening, right? Or any employee that will listen to what we're saying. I think that'd be a wonderful thing that when the government makes these payments, to match that. Or if you can't match it, at least budget, give something extra. Because that there's something about it, Tony, and I keep saying this, government after government after government, their policies and their plans for the people always seem to stem around a certain group. It's never the entire country benefiting directly. It's always a certain group. Either you have young people benefiting, or maybe, in fact, hardly the older folks, for sure, hardly. So that's a big deal. That should be a headline story, man, because it's very rare for things like that to happen. Things usually center around people who support the government, right? They well rewarded for their support. We all know that. We all know it. Just yesterday we had a show talking about people who are employed by government and so on, and what government has to pay, and who loses their job after a government changes. If you have your political appointee, you have to know your 10 years over and make way for somebody else, right? It's always a set of people who are benefiting, and not the whole country. Tony, I want to bring Saudi Arabia as an example, right? I mean, there are many of them, right, where they have, say, the oil. Now, some people will say oil is, making billions and so on. But at the end of the day, the leadership could have been selfish as well. They could just say, well, we have all these resources, let's build ourselves. Let's have a good time. But no, they make sure that everybody in the country benefits to some degree, from cradle to grave. That's serious, from cradle to grave. In other words, you're not paying for this and that and the other. Remember, we read in Belize how user fees now, that is a thing of the past. When you go to a hospital in Belize, I think it started at the beginning of this month, that you go inside there, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about anything. Just you go there. You don't have to pay any fee for you to enter the. But I shouldn't say enter. There's a fee you pay for the doctor to examine you and so on, things like that. And then you have medication which is you prescribed, or you may have to stay at the hospital. You don't have to worry about that, and that's a beautiful thing. And we have the CIP program, right? CIP. We have most countries in the Caribbean use that to pay debt. Yeah. Right? The IMF and the World Bank has told governments already, make sure you'll use those monies for the benefit of the people. Well, they pay debt with it. So even there with the CIP monies, we still don't really benefit. I've said it already. I think so many people who lose their homes, some of the CIP money should be put there in a special lockbox. That's supposed to be a bad word, right? No, there's nothing bad about it. A lockbox is something that's just dedicated for a particular use. Right. You just don't use it for anything else. That's right. So I think that'd be a cool thing. You put some money in there. Whoever there's a fire, and you can at least go there, access a little money to help you out. You're sick. You're really sick. You need to go to travel to Martinique or something. You don't have to worry too much. So the money now is being used for the benefit of the people. I just find too often, Tony, and I don't know what your take is on that. It's just like a certain group that benefits from it.
Yeah, my take is I understand exactly what you're saying, but it's St. Lucia. We don't have the money for it. It's a strange thing. We don't have the money for everybody to benefit. That's the problem. That's the issue right there, as far as I'm concerned.
maybe, Tony, maybe we kind of accept that. Maybe we accept that as being fact, that we all cannot benefit. But I don't know.
But like I said, I understand where you're coming from and what you're saying.
And there's also more good news. I think during the passage of Tropical Storm Brett, I think about 22 schools were reportedly damaged. The government has now received, I think, a loan. They've taken a loan, and they received, I think, $6 million US dollars to use to repair those schools. I think the schools, the principals, the students are going to be very, very happy to know that the facility will get some attention.
Most definitely.
Yes. Because, Tony, I think we know what it's like to be in an environment where this is breaking down, that is breaking down. As a student, it even as a teacher as well, it makes you feel, oh my God, man, I'm working in that kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
The windows, the doors, may have been affected. Already they may have been a little old, with termites and so on. And it's good that you can get these repaired. Like you feel, Andre, the sweetest thing to work in is a nice environment.
Yo, Tony, that's so true.
Yes.
That's so true.
It feels so good.
It lifts your spirit.
That's right.
So imagine you're in a damaged environment. Yeah.
So the teachers would be really, really, and principal, of course, of these principals of these
and the
schools.
Students as well.
The students, absolutely.
22 schools and facilities were damaged as a result of that storm in June 2023. All right, so $6 million. It's a loan, $6 million US dollars.
Now, here's the thing again. And if while I'm talking, if anything, go down the story, right? You'll see what happens. Out of the 22 schools that were damaged, I think initially, they're going to fix something like 15 or something like that, initially. So they're going to give priority because of the amount of money that they get. They probably can't do all of them at the same time. So they'll fix some of them, and then they'll probably see what they can do with the others that are perhaps not as badly damaged as the others. Yeah.
So that's good stuff. Okay, I think a feather in the cap for the government. Right, so to give a $600 payment to pensioners, government pensioners, and schools now going to be repaired, that's a beautiful thing.
Most definitely.
Labor, Idibo. Okay,
and it's good.
Yeah, and those of you who like to think that people support a particular party or whatever, when it's good, you have to say it's good, and when it's bad, you got to say it's bad. And don't think that people play in politics because they're being critical of your government.
Yeah,
at least the government that you think you alone chose. Yeah,
like you've been painted with a brush.
Yeah, and Tony, I don't know why we make up an issue of that. People have the right to support who they want to support.
That's
it's
right.
It's like some individuals out there think as though you if you're not supporting their administration or their party, sorry, something's wrong with you, and you're not supposed to say anything critical, anything negative about the government that the party that they chose.
Very, very true. That is why a lot of people tell you they support who they support, but they don't go and bragging about it and showing like this is the party I support. For the simple reason that you get into serious arguments with friends, sometimes family members. You get into these arguments and these debates. Imagine, Andre, you're in a family. You know how we grew up. We grew up in that family that just supported that party. That's that. And imagine now if when I became 18 and eligible to vote, I decided I want to vote elsewhere. Then the family, Andre, you see the kind of problems that would have brought?
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just better you sometimes just keep it quiet. Don't say anything. When people are arguing about politics, say nothing.
Yeah.
And religion too. Those are the two things they tell you, boy, you just don't try to discuss that. There's never really a winner.
That's true. That's really, really true. Yeah. So, but sometimes, Tony, I like a lively debate, man. I like that. I enjoy that. I enjoy it.
I don't. Honestly, I don't. I don't. I don't like discussion. Well, I like discussions, but not arguments.
Last night I was watching YouTube, and I was watching a whole bunch of stuff there concerning the Hamas situation there and Israel in the war. And Piers Morgan, he's one of the few journalists / talk show host or whatever to invite those who support or understand the Palestinian side of things. So I was watching a number, probably about 10 interviews that he did there with different people who support the Palestinians and do not are not afraid to be critical. I'll repeat that: not afraid to be critical of Israel. So he was interviewing them, and I mean, some of the discussions were hot. I mean, some serious exchanges, man. Serious exchanges, and they although they'll call him Piers by his first name, or he calls them by their first name, man, they're just letting each other have it. And I like that kind of, because you learn stuff.
Yeah, very much so.
You learn,
very
you learn
much
a lot.
So. Yeah, man. Yeah, I like it. I like to.
And
if I'm in a group and the guys are discussing politics, I like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you could see Piers Morgan, he had a certain view, right, of Hamas and because people do not know how to separate Hamas from the Palestinian people.
Right.
They're linking Hamas with them, and that's exactly what Israel is doing. So you're Palestinian, you're Hamas,
right?
That kind of thing, right? And you could see, Tony, because the people who he was interviewing were really bringing some powerful points out, and Piers just had to remain quiet.
Okay.
He just had to remain quiet and just listen to what they were saying, because it was in some cases it was actually moving. You could see somebody of the individuals are almost ready to cry over that thing,
right?
And some of them were really angry at him as well. And he kept making the point that he's probably the only person in the world who's allowing people who are of a different opinion, because most of the media houses don't, just allowing Israel. That's all. They want to only hear Israel's side. They don't want to hear about the Palestinians, because they see the Palestinians as Hamas.
Yeah. I'm glad you went there, because I think, I'm just saying, maybe some of our listeners and viewers on Facebook may have a little bit of a challenge when it comes to Hamas and the Palestinians. What's the difference? Okay, let me just put my little piece, but of course I'd love you to say it. Hamas is a group. Can I safely say rebel group?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Right.
Yes.
From the Palestinians, all right, a rebel group who is a dangerous rebel group. You know what I mean? And they really have it in for
Israel. That's right. They want them to be exterminated.
Right.
Yeah. Commit genocide, and that's the problem.
Yes. Again, that is Hamas and not the Palestinians. All right?
And they're all Palestinians, huh?
They're all Palestinians. Right.
That's right.
But that group, that rebel group, have come together and decided, you know something, we're not taking this.
That's correct.
The treatment that Israel is dishing out to them, they're not taking it. I know you can describe it a lot better than I can.
You did a good job, Tony. You did a good job. So the latest is that there's a 4-day truce.
Yeah,
a lull in the bombing and so on, because since the 7th of November, right? Was it 7th of November? I think. Yeah, November 7th. I think. Yeah, they've just been bombing. I mean, non-stop, 24 hours, boom, all over the place there. So there's just a lull now, just a pause. And this is to allow exchange of prisoners. That's where they are right now. So Hamas is going to release, they say, about 50 of the people that they kidnapped, about 50 of them, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And again, I want to stress the point. I do not like what Hamas did there. It is wicked. It is evil. There's no excuse for it. And as a matter of fact, they should be destroyed because of the fact that they're practicing evil.
Yeah.
To go and attack people, murder people. You kidnap men, women, children. Even I think there's a 2-year-old baby, if I'm not mistaken. A 2-year-old. No. What kind of thing is that? No, you are evil. And I agree, Tony. Get rid of them because they are evil. I don't think these guys can. Well, I think anything is possible. Well, some things are possible. Maybe they could change over time, but I don't see how they will have a change of heart and want to embrace Israel. So you have to get rid of them because they're all about hate, and you cannot allow that, right? So on that note, Tony, I agree. The thing is that is the way Israel did it. Head up.
Just a little piece in there. One of my friends, Preke, good morning to you. Preke said, Israel, that's a little part that I read, Israel is overdoing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I know that's how you feel. That's what you've been saying for a long time.
Listen to that. Last night, in one of the interviews that Piers Morgan had, I think he's a sort of advisor to Netanyahu. This guy, his name is Negev, I think, something like that. Once this guy comes on, I don't want to hear what this guy has to say because he's an advisor to Netanyahu, right? He's his advisor, his top advisor. So if Netanyahu has to go down, he has to go down as well because he's advising him. And I don't really like his attitude, to be honest. Once I see him, you could see the face alone, the look in his eyes, right? But nonetheless, I tolerated it last night because Piers was interviewing him. No, it wasn't Piers Morgan. It was another guy interviewing him, a black guy. And the guy said to him, if Hamas had kidnapped the people that they kidnapped and they were in Israel, would you go and attack them the same way that you're attacking them there and causing innocent lives? You know what he said? He said if the Hamas was in Israel, they would send tactical forces inside there.
Tactical forces.
Yeah, that's special forces. That's who they would send after them. So I'm saying to myself, so
send the tactical.
Why didn't you send those same tactical forces, special forces, with help from the United States, because they help you anyway to do your evil? So send them inside there. Yes, it's true, Tony. People are going to die. People are still dying anyway. Right. But instead of you causing all that harm to innocent people, you now go there and you face Hamas man to man, and you deal with it. These are special forces, Tony. So they are specially equipped and they can handle those kinds of situations. Instead, you just come in there blasting your way, bombing left, right, and center, and killing innocent men, women, and especially children. Tony, yesterday I watched like a mass grave. This is terrible, you know. A mass grave with about 30 or 40 bodies, all of them in blue bags. And they put them next to each other, and a dumper or the backhoe or whatever just dumping dirt over those people. You think that's how somebody has to meet the end? And to see that has nothing to do. I wasn't involved in that kind of thing. It's terrible seeing that kind of thing. To see fellas clutching children, babies, and bawling. And you're telling me you have no shame. I'm talking about Israel. You have no shame in doing that kind of thing. And then the co-conspirators, those who are helping them, right? The bullies. I call them bullies. They're helping Israel to do that craziness. So you see the hypocrisy. So Mr. Negev could say, if that was in Israel, they would take special forces to go after the fellas. But you can't take special forces to go inside Gaza. No. Netanyahu wanted to get rid of as many Palestinians as possible. You figure you take out 1,300 of ours, we'll take out 10,000 of yours. Yeah. Sorry. I hope I live to see what's going to happen to me in the final analysis. But what's the interesting thing, Tony? You know, America doesn't really like this guy too much. but they just feel that they need to support, because if they don't support, the Jews now who live in the United States now are not going to vote for them, right? So they figure they're supporting them blindly. But I like South Africa. South Africa said, nah, breaking ties, man. Bravo, take a stance. Anyway, so it's just a pause from one massacre, Tony, to another one, because as soon as they depause, you have to go right back fighting again. So what's that about?
What's the point?
But they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to make sure the place is quote unquote peaceful enough to allow a transfer of prisoners. And give Hamas that, Tony. They never give up on their brothers, because you know they're in Israeli jails. A lot of people don't know that, you know. There are children as young as 14 in jail in Israel, you know, for throwing stones. Anybody can go and read it up. It's not me saying it. These things I read, and I read this from good sources. As young as 14. So Hamas has not forgotten those people in prison there, and that's what this is all about. So now exchange of prisoners. I guess Israel figured they'll recapture them at some point. At some point. Anyway, so Tony, food security. This is a big issue right now, and I think the Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett, she was speaking at this CARI Forum Food Security Program launch, and she was saying here, rising acute food insecurity and increasing food prices indicate that the resilience of food systems has been eroding across the globe. The impact of climate change, the COVID-19 pandemic, high energy prices, and supply chain disruptions have served to increase food insecurity, particularly for the most vulnerable people and countries. Now, let me just tell you, Tony, and our listeners, those of us who don't know, what is food security? Food security is the state of having reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food. I repeat that. Food security is the state of having reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food. Now, Tony, food security in St. Lucia, do you think we have a problem accessing, let's just forget about the affordable for a while, but nutritious food? You think the average St. Lucian has a problem accessing nutritious food, the average St. Lucian?
Yes. Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because the prices too high for sure. Andre, there's not enough food to go around because there's not enough food being grown in St. Lucia. Unfortunately, it's seasonal. A lot of the things are seasonal. When it's a lot of rain, I think I don't really remember which one that the rain really attracts most. You know, maybe it's Dasheen or one of them. I'm not too sure. Dasheen sometimes is not really readily available, and sometimes can be too expensive. And Andre, depending on the time of year, Dasheen would sell for a lot more. That kind of thing.
And
So
yam
you
too.
ask-
Yam is very expensive.
I only mentioned Dasheen, yams, and all the others because they have the different qualities of yams. There's the yellow yam. There's the baja.
By the way, I love all of them, Do you?
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, man. I love a baja, man. Andre, when last you ate baja?
It's been a while.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. So that's what I'm talking about. Not readily and easily available for our consumption. So that's a problem. Andre, right now, tomatoes. Can't find tomatoes. And if you find them, they're very expensive.
And I haven't seen ripe bananas in a while.
Ripe bananas, very, very few. You know what I mean? So all of that, it's a serious, serious problem that we're having. So I'm glad that they're looking at it, but can anything be done? Climate change and all of that seem to be a huge problem in growing food.
Well, Tony, in terms of having access to nutritious food, and we'll talk about being able to afford in a little while. Tony, the average St. Lucian, right? We love, as you said, the tomatoes and the cucumbers.
And lettuce and
and
so
the
on.
lettuce. I think most St. Lucians love those things.
Yes.
Right? And really and truly, these things in and of themselves are not that expensive in St. Lucia. Like, say, lettuce, for example. It's not very, very expensive. The local tomatoes, not very expensive in my view.
In your view, yes.
Right? In my view. You talk about access to peas. Peas are by the way, let me say that they are highly, extremely nutritious because they're packed with fiber. Peas, most part, Tony, $6, $7, $8 for a pack of peas, depending on which one, and there are lots of varieties. And so to me, right, the ground provisions. Okay, let's just the baja. We understand that one. I think I asked the guy who was selling the other day. I says, "Why is that thing so expensive?" He said, "Because of the nutrition. It's very healthy, right?" So a lot of us who don't like baja, I think that is it the yellow one, Tony? Yellow.
The yellow yam.
Yes.
What's wrong with it?
I love it.
But that's wonderful. It's just hard when you cook it.
Yes,
but
I love it.
That's just so good.
Yes, I love it.
And it's expensive.
Yes. So we should try to eat a little more of those things. So I'm saying, Tony, even those things, right? Let's just put the baja aside for a second. But the typical green fig, although some people are complaining now, is getting up there.
Exactly.
And so on. But nonetheless, still, it's still at the point where the average person can afford all those foods I mentioned there. So getting access to nutritious food, maybe you're right about the quantity. Maybe we need to be producing more. I agree there. But to have access to nutritious food, I think the average person can have access to nutritious food. The problem is that, Tony, for a lot of us who do not take our health seriously, we just don't buy those things. We prefer to buy the ramen and the mac and cheese and the sort of thing, and we consume those, and then we also give that to our children. Some of us, Tony, are just plain cheap as well. Some of us just do not want to spend the money on buying paying a few extra dollars to enjoy a nutritious meal. So I think it has a lot to do with attitude as well, where we feel we're looking for anything that's cheap. Just some cheap, I mentioned ramen, for example. Yeah, a lot of parents find that very, very easy. The kids love it, right? To just give it to them, and they don't even think that. Listen, there's no nutrition in the ramen. There's hardly anything in the mac and cheese and the noodles, and there's hardly any nutrition in that thing there. So what we should be concentrating on are those real nutritious foods, but they cost a little more. And are we willing now to spend a little extra, or we just cheap for ourselves?
You see, when you can afford something, that's fine. You can afford it. But there are a lot of people, Andrew, who just cannot afford it. And they have to buy, you mentioned
those I mentioned there?
The rye.
The peas,
rye.
the lettuce,
you just can't afford it.
The green fig, green fig, right? Those things that are highly, I want to emphasize, these are highly nutritious foods. They are, right? Plus they have a lot of fiber, so you can't go wrong. So you're saying you think the average person still cannot afford to buy those foods?
Because you have to look at maybe families. You might want to buy some green fig, what you mentioned, the peas, nutritious and full of fiber. You might want to buy these things, but then the amount that you have to feed, it just can't reach there. So you go for the ramen, as you say, a box of macaroni, $1, $2 something. You know what I mean?
Rice.
Rice. Well, that's my favorite. So I love a rice.
So you think the problem is, if it may be for one family member, it's probably manageable. But when you have a family, meaning you have children and so on,
that's right, because it has to spread. So that might be very, very difficult.
So that's besides the fact that the government subsidizes some of these things, like the rice, the sugar, and those things. The government subsidizes those things. So it's still, for some families, it's still a challenge.
It's still yes, it's still very, very, Andre, very challenging.
So what more can we do, Tony? I mean, what more can we do? Because look, we're talking about the 2.5%, for example.
Yes.
All that's being added. Yes, it's not on food, but there are people who live in this country, and at some point they have to deal with the fact that they may have to get certain things that does attract the 2.5% and other taxes.
Yeah.
Right. So what do we do if the government is subsidizing certain foods already, and it's still rough because we have all, as you said, children. It's not just one person in the home. Well, how do we manage this thing?
Grow your own
if you have the land for it.
That too.
Yeah, the land.
What I've
most
found,
people, Tony, most people just occupy a little spot,
And the spot sometimes. What about those who are renting? Or then again, if you're renting, I think you're allowed to, if maybe grow some stuff in the garden or something. I'm not too certain about that.
It depends. If you're able to afford a nice place large enough where you have land,
all of that.
But Tony, most poor people just rent
a small space.
Either they rent or they
build. If they build, it's a small space.
A small space.
Yes.
Very little room there to grow anything.
That's correct. That is correct.
Especially in the city, especially up north.
Yeah.
I think more so because the rural areas tend to have a lot more available land space.
Yes.
So it's probably a little easier. But then again, Tony, if you don't have the wherewithal, as you said a while ago, you can't afford it to because remember, you're dealing also with things like predial larceny.
Right.
So here you are trying your best to grow your crops. I know a young man who's trying, and then somebody went in there and just raided everything he grew, and he was really hurt. He said, "Look, I put all my effort in this thing, right?" And he's already struggling. So a whole bunch of variables.
Yes. It is, yeah, very much so. Like you said, a lot of variables, lots of little things that you probably didn't cater for will probably happen to you. You're watching, just putting that little piece in there, as you would say, that little caveat in there. You're watching your fruit, for example. You remember the story of Spencer and Bulldog?
Yes. Oh, yes.
You see that's a story.
Yeah, that's a story. Yes.
So you're watching it and you're saying it ain't good yet. Give it a few more days. Give it a week. You know what I mean? And somebody watching you too.
Exactly.
And they pass.
Yes.
And before you know it, it's gone. They took it from. Let me tell you, people, Andrew, that is soft people. Man.
Boy. Another too. Yeah, and they sell those things that are not really ready to be sold as yet. It's not ripe.
Right.
It's not at the stage where mature. Right? That's the word, mature. So
you have your avocados that you're growing there, and people are watching that just as much as you, or more than you. You understand? So you might want to pick that and sell it. And sometimes you want to give to your neighbors, what I mean, to share,
Yes, that's true.
Wow, Andre, people passing. And when you look, come the following day, you wake up, but wait a second, somebody passed and thief my avocado, Oh, yeah.
And as you said about your neighbor, let me just take the opportunity to mention Miss Awa and also Josie.
Oh, yeah. Josie, good morning.
Josie makes sure she comes to check me if she has extra avocado, right? And Miss Awa would
share whatever it is
so
that
on.
She have, because she every time while we were talking about growing your own, she came to mind because she's right there in her garden, you know what I mean, taking care of that. And Andre, she loves it. There's a love. That's the thing, when you're doing something you love. We keep saying that there's a love that you have. You touch the plants and you water them, and boy, you watch them grow, and then you harvest.
Or somebody harvests for you. Somebody harvests for you.
That's what we were talking about. Yes. Somebody harvests. Oh boy,
that can be a real put off, boy.
Yes.
All right. So the government really needs to do something to ensure that all St. Lucians have access to affordable, nutritious food. Yeah, you have an obligation as the government to do that. Okay, Tony, with the little time that we have left while we're vibing, Eric Adams, the New York City mayor, he was in the news there recently to deal with this issue of illegal migration. He was saying that New York apparently is bearing the brunt of this problem because so many people are coming through New York, and he was asking for assistance from the main from Washington. So he's in the news again for all the wrong reasons. A lady is accusing him of sexually assaulting her back in 1993.
Yeah,
because he was a police officer at the time, and then of course he rose up the ranks. He became a captain, and then he entered politics. So now he's mayor of New York. So Eric Adams in the news, as I said, for all the wrong reasons these days. Of course, he's denying the woman's claim, but let's see what happens. And that just follows on the heels of P. Diddy.
Yep.
P. Diddy just settled a case there last week?
I think it was last
week or earlier this week.
Because today's Friday. Earlier this week. Yes.
And he settled out of court. What's the lady's name again? Cassie. Yeah. Cassie used to date, or she used to date him and stuff.
For a few years.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
So, I guess Diddy thought this was over. That's it. But guess what? Another lady has come forward now.
With BN Diddy again?
BN Diddy. So that's number 2. I wanted to say that when we were talking. I wanted to say if one lady is accusing him, it's very possible another one will come.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what has happened. So, Diddy settled the first one there out of court. Although he said this never happened.
Right.
Folks, you have to emphasize that. But some people, like, remember Michael Jackson, you just don't want to go through the stress of going and having to go to a court of law and dealing with the stress of it. Also, remember I tell you, the ladies are closest to you, so they know all your business.
Definitely.
And things are going to come out there that Diddy didn't want to come out. Most likely didn't want to come out. So here we go now. And another lady accusing him of the same thing.
Yeah. That is just so crazy.
His lawyer says it's just a money grab. Not a money gram. A money grab. A money grab.
Gosh, boy.
Yes, so his head is hot, boy. I think she's accusing him of revenge porn. Revenge porn. Because apparently that's what she's saying. He was having some, and they're having sexual relations, and he filmed it and he showed all his friends. Yeah, so I think he distributed the tape. Now, I hope that's not true, Tony. I really, really hope so. I'm saying, you're a little boy, you're a big man, right? And that's the thing a lot of us we fellas do at our age. We were big men, and you're still talking about your exploits and so on to your friends. I have a problem with that.
Me too.
Yeah, I keep that secret. Now, I think Tony, ladies kind of brag a little about that kind of thing.
They do?
Yeah, I think they brag about it with their friends.
Really?
Yeah, when they get together. Oh, yeah.
Maybe when they were young, like,
Oh, no, man.
Okay. So, when you were younger, you never did it?
Yeah, I
exactly.
did.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you tell the boys what happened. You know how it went down.
Yeah.
But as you grow,
I have aided and abetted. You're sure how man you are.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But you stop that. But Tony, go ahead.
Yes, I was just saying, as you grow, you just figure, that ain't nobody business what you do, man. So you just hush about it. There are times people have asked me, "What you happen? You have something with this girl, man?" No. No.
You see, ladies, that's a different kettle of fish.
You figure?
Yeah, they share a lot of stuff. And sometimes you'd be surprised the kind of secrets that they're holding, Oh yes, they hold some kind of secrets for each other. Yeah, they're talking, you see, they're among each other, ladies' night out. And they talk. It have to take a one that is really, really, really mature to avoid talking about the guy. Oh yeah, because they have to tell you how the guy is great. If you are.
Even if you're not.
Exactly.
They have to put up for their man.
Yes.
Their man is, you know what I mean? Just make
Tony,
up story.
they talk. They'll tell their friends, how he is, or he's lapo. Yeah, he's lapo and so on, so on. And
really?
I'm so frustrated with this man. I think I tell a man this and that and the other. I'm hoping a man is going to, because they're sharing stuff. They're sharing with each other, and they're vibing with each other. So they have to tell you the things that are going on. So when you see the ladies are going through their stress there with some guy that they have, you think they don't share that?
That I understand.
Well, exactly. So everything coming out, and especially if you see he's giving her stress and he lapo again.
Oh, okay. I understand that part.
He's lapo.
And but sometimes they're looking for advice and so on.
Exactly.
Too, yes. Okay.
Exactly.
Got you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know, Tony, they hold a lot of secrets. They hold a lot of secrets. Oh yeah. Boy. So Tony is not only Eric Adams and Sean Diddy.
Right.
Jamie Foxx.
Right.
Facing sexual assault and battery charges.
So it's like
They
people are
filed a
just,
lawsuit.
people you laugh before I finish, People are just coming up with these things now, It's like, okay, they have a money to make on that, right? Let me just throw it out there, And perhaps it's true. I'm just saying, listeners, viewers, perhaps it is true. But it's like, okay, there's an avenue for me to make a few dollars, It's true, this happened, but I can bring it out now because this is out there, People are starting to talk about it, Whether it has been a few years or not, as long as it happened, boom.
But Tony, if I'm not mistaken, most of these cases that have come out over the last few years have gone to court and guys have been prosecuted.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yes.
I can't think of anyone where a lady was just trying to, get money, extort money. It does happen. It does happen, folks. I'm not going to say no. But the vast majority, since America's favorite dad, what's his name again? Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
The vast majority have gone to court, and these guys were found guilty. R. Kelly is a
typical
case in
example.
point. R. Kelly. So, and R. Kelly's troubles are not over.
Oh gosh.
This guy, after he serves his time in New York, he has cases in other states.
Right.
So when he's finished serving his time in New York, he has to go to the other state. Now they'll transfer him. And for him now to be tried, exactly. If he's found guilty again, now he has to serve another sentence. When that's over now, there's another state. Because apparently he did those things there in different states. And each state has its own sets of laws and so on. So R. Kelly, Tony, unless of course, I don't know, boy, he's just a stroke of luck. He's going to be in jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Sad. I honestly, I miss him. I'm looking forward to his music and everything because he's such a great artist, a great singer. I heard when I really developed my respect for this guy was when he sang at Whitney Houston's funeral.
Okay.
I don't remember what song it was. And I said, my gosh, people were just hooked at that time. The guy is just a great singer. Great singer.
Writer too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, writer. Yeah, I don't think he can read.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. But he can't read.
Which is so strange. You can't read, but you can write.
Well, I guess he dictate. He can dictate.
Okay. Because I hadn't thought about it. So maybe he goes like to somebody and says, okay, well, this and that, the words, and they put it down on paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really sad. Really sad. So let's hope the best for Jamie Foxx because he's in some hot water there.
Yeah.
Okay. The person is saying that he, I guess, forced himself on her without her consent and so on. Groped her, fondled her, this, whatever. So let's see what. And they said he was intoxicated at the time.
Okay,
that's what she's claiming. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so finally, Oscar Pistorius. I don't know if you remember that that partner from South Africa.
Sure.
It seems as though he's going to get parole today.
Okay,
he will get it because I think in South Africa you have to serve. I think let me see. At least 10 years of your sentence, and then you become eligible for parole.
Okay.
I think he's appeared before the parole board twice already, and I think he was denied.
Oh.
So this time it looks like, because he's already served the 10 years, so it looks like he's going to get parole. It looks like that. So the story was a very, very interesting one. His girlfriend, Reba Steenkamp, he claimed that he thought there was an intruder in the house, and he fired shots. Right, and the lady was actually at his home at that time there. Now, apparently, people who knew the two of them, there was an argument. That's what they're saying. And Pistorius, who was just crazy about her, when I say crazy, meaning he doesn't want to lose her, he decided, because he was found guilty.
Right.
He was found guilty.
Right.
Of killing her.
Yeah. And his defense, in his defense, what he said, that he's sleeping and he hearing this person in the house and he just came and shot.
Yes.
That was his story. But people are saying no, there were arguments.
Exactly.
Between the two of them, and then he took her out.
Yeah. During the case, which I followed very closely, a lot of intimate stuff came out. And that's the thing about those situations. A lot of stuff come out as to how he was actually afraid. Like he didn't want to lose this girl. I'm saying to myself, look at this guy. This guy is a great man. I mean, double amputee, Olympic runner, great guy. And then he's so, maybe the self-esteem is low for whatever reason, we don't know. Maybe he never thought a fine lady, I think she was a model.
A model,
A
yeah.
fine lady like Reva Steenkamp would probably be with him. So he didn't want to lose that.
Right.
That reminds me of the movie Barbie. I watched that movie.
The new movie that came out?
Yeah, the new.
Okay.
I actually watched that with Nairobi.
Okay.
And Nairobi watched
She
the
liked
entire
that?
thing.
Yeah.
Actually watched the entire thing.
Okay.
And Ken had a problem. The Ken doll. So Ken had a problem where he felt if he wasn't with Barbie, he wasn't anybody. So he tried to follow her around and do a lot of foolish and stupid things, and to the point where it used to irritate. It used to irritate Barbie. She didn't like the fact that he was into her so much, and that's a mistake a lot of us are making.
We've spoken about it.
Men and women, right? Be careful with that kind of thing.
Yep.
I keep saying that, and some people do not want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
Yep.
And you do that, it irritates people. It
does.
irritates them.
It does.
And some of the ladies who say that they want it, when they do get it, they can't handle it.
Right.
They still complain.
Yeah,
So if you have a guy who's a little aloof, that's a cool thing.
I think it is.
Yeah, let him remain a little aloof. He's not too much, in your space, in your feet, around you all the time like that. Tony, I know about you, Tony. I can't take that.
I can't.
I can't take that.
No, I cannot.
I cannot take that.
That's not for me.
Yeah, my spirit can't take it.
Got to give me my my space.
Yeah, and they're thinking because you want space is because something you want to do.
Nah, man. I just love my own time. You've said it a few times yourself. I love me time, where I put ideas together. Things come to me, and I've often said that to whoever girlfriend that I have at the time. I'm planning for us. A lot of times I'm planning. Okay, this weekend we'll get together. What it is that I can do. I'll probably plan something and then say, okay, I'll find out what she has planned. And I say, what you have planned? Anything you have planned? No, not really. Okay, maybe we can do so and so and so and so and so. It's already there in my head. You know what I mean?
They don't think that they're included in your thoughts.
What?
That's the problem. Yeah. And they could be number one. They could be uppermost there,
That's right.
Yeah, so that's a problem there. And Reva apparently couldn't deal with that. And Pistorius, he was acting childish around her.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where I guess he became anxious in the relationship and afraid he's going to lose her.
Especially, Andre, if you just kind of hinted on it. You after the person, you in the person's space all the time. And you figure the person just might decide, something, especially with that last argument, it seems as though it's breakup time. If you ain't hanging, you will feel it's breakup time. I'm finished with this.
Yes.
Leave me alone then. And you figure, break up, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, that's right. There's a story, I wouldn't go there today because we don't have the time. There's a story in Trinidad where a guy was dating some other individual's ex-wife. Hemiwell, ex-wife. They were not together. They got a divorce. And the ex-husband was still taken up with this lady, couldn't deal with the fact that he didn't have her. So he accosted the lady and the guy at an insurance company. I think maybe the two of them were there. I don't know what they were doing. But he shot the lady, he shot the guy, and he shot himself. Okay? So after that happened, he thought the lady was dead. She didn't die. She's at hospital. Yeah, she's at hospital. So next week we'll talk about that. See, that kind of thing? No, it's not. So you see, ladies, those of you who want the guys around you all 24/7 behaving like that.
Right.
That's what you risk,
Right.
Yeah. Boy. All right, Tony.
Okay.
So let's get into the giveaway. And folks, we're counting down because this is a introductory offer that we had. Yeah, since we just opened. So we want to continue with this until maybe about Christmas Eve, somewhere around there. And then, of course, moving into the new year, we're going to be unleashing.
That's right.
Other programs.
And I am so looking forward to that, let me tell you.
Alrighty. So
Here we go. Oh, don't forget now, I'm going to throw in a couple of tickets. I hope you don't mind. All right, let me just quickly say a couple of tickets for the Canon Laurie Anglican Primary School. They're presenting you with a Back in Time Dance Through the Decades at the Vidbouteille Cultural Club, La Claire. Speaking of which, Andre, let me just throw that in there. John T., the celebration this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to have his sister, one of the sisters in here, and also his first, I think she's the first child or first daughter. They're going to be in here at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to talk about his life and the celebration this weekend.
Yes. I met them at Massey Mega.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Johnny?
Yeah.
So, yes, I think we have a caller on the WhatsApp platform. Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you. Good morning, Andre.
What's up there, friend? All is well there with you?
I'm there. Everything is okay.
All
Everything is
lovely,
okay.
Lovely.
Yes, yes.
Have you won any cashes yet?
Yeah, man. Oh, on this program?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I just thought he hadn't won us yet. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because I want you to win, my friend. I want you to win. That's why I asked you.
Okay. Thanks for accepting my call. Huh?
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
man, no
You're
problem.
welcome.
Yesterday, somebody collected on his behalf.
Oh, so he won again?
Yes, you know. That one was a bit of a small change, but at least it's cash.
Oh, was
you
that
know what I mean?
last week? He won last week?
When he won on Lucky 3. Lucky 3,
Oh,
25,
Lucky 3 it was.
$25.
All
Yes.
right. Okay.
Right? So you got your money, right?
Yes, thank you very much.
Beautiful.
No problem.
Beautiful.
No problem. All right.
Yes,
So
I can't really travel because of the eye. You see, I cannot really move around.
Yes.
So well, we have the time. I think we. Oh gosh, what's wrong? If you don't
He's
mind,
visually impaired.
Oh, he's visually impaired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Andre, you can look it up on the computer. What I have is what you call retinitis pigmentosa.
Oh my gosh. Well, boy, that's a fancy word for a terrible illness.
Wow.
Okay.
Retinitis pigmentosa or RP.
Okay. All right. Well, come on, man. Let's roll right away. Are you ready for $20? Let's play $97.1 giveaway. Are you ready, my friend?
Ready?
Here is your first question that's worth $20. You can keep the $20 if you like and say, yeah, $20 is fine. I've been hitting up those people for monies if you get a question right. Or you like to go on, we ask you the second question. So let's go with the first question first, all right?
Yeah.
Here is your first question. Who is the chairman of the Tourism Authority? Lately, he been saying, "I eat peas." Just the way he said it. I eat peas.
I will still go with Mr. Mondesi.
Mondesi. Okay, Mr. Mondesi is not right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for calling. Oh, by the way, would you want to, well, no, he didn't win, so I'll keep my ticket.
Yeah.
I keep my ticket, right?
But would you like to have the ticket, sir?
Oh, yes, right.
Would you like to have it?
It's a ticket for tonight at the Vidbute Cultural Club. It's a back in time, step back in time dance through the decades.
Or maybe he may not even be interested because he can't. Maybe you can't go. Do you still?
I wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
So let me ask you, how do you feel that so many things in your life have been curtailed because of your problem? How do you feel about that?
Oh, Andre, I don't allow this to really keep me down because you see. Yeah, but you see that sickness, that retinitis pigmentosa. Man, you see night blindness. The night I don't see anything.
Wow.
So it's night blindness, but during the day you can see a little bit.
During the day I can see a little. You see when the sun is bright bright, I don't see anything much, because with this disease it is mostly clear and white. That is my problem. Retinitis pigmentosa.
So how does one develop something like that?
You see, some people, the doctor told me maybe it's genetic or lack of vitamins A. And plus, I had operation in both eyes already in Cuba, 2005.
Okay, you were one of those who went to Cuba.
Yeah, I went 2005. I went 2006. Yeah, where they cut both eyes and implant new tissues. Then
Wow.
How did that work? Just quickly, how did that work out?
Oh, they told me if I didn't have this operation, maybe by now I gone clear.
Completely blind. Because I remember those who went over to Cuba, Andre, they did all right. Honestly.
Yeah.
Gibson Charles, let me give him a shout out. Grappy did. And Grappy's all right. Yeah, Grappy was really happy.
I'm 59 years and 2005. So imagine 2005, I had the operation. 2006, I went back. It's a very, very serious disease.
Okay. Sounds that way to me. Okay, my friend.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Take care of yourself.
Welcome.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Yes, yes.
Andre, just quick shout outs. I'll try to do this
Sure.
as
Oh,
quickly
yes,
as possible.
yes, please, yes. Please.
Those who were watching us on Facebook, we say again, thank you for the love always. Jan, it might be most likely Jan, Jan. You know, sometimes it's pronounced as Jan. Jan Isaac, hi, good morning. Sherry Blossom, hello. Sherry, oh yeah, Sherry, you again. Sunshine Charles, Patricia Benjamin, Yaslin Mongru, hey Yaslin. JD, yeah, JD. Sophia Chandler, yeah, Sophia Chandler. Also Matilda Flora. Dakota is in the house. Hey Dakota, good morning to you. Caroline Bob, hi, good morning. Can't read what you're saying, but meaning the folks, because of time, of course. Racco St. Marie, Heather Alfred, Kevin Clary, my man. Josiane Alexander, whom we mentioned. Josiane is on Facebook, my brother.
Hey, Josie.
You think Josie easy? Hello, Jos. And finally, Fleshy, I think it's Fleshy, you know, Fleshie. Julian Lancico. Fleshy, Julian Lancico. Oh, Arlette Richards also said hi.
Alrighty.
Andre, growing up, we know the girl.
Yes, of course.
Annette.
Annette, yes. Arlette Richards. Imagine that. It's
Arlette.
Yeah.
That always freaked me out.
You remember we used to call Giselle Giselle?
Yes. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, man.
I think Mama was more famous, you know, for those bullets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Luck, you know, luck already.
Yeah.
Luck at trying anything.
It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? She would try to pronounce these people's name. Well, here's another one, Onius.
Onius, yes. And that was Anius, right?
Yes.
And we call him man Onius all his whole life.
Onius.
That's true. That's another one.
Brenda George, hi. That's the last one that just check in with us there. Since we're doing the shout outs, you know, they quickly just said hi, you know?
Yes.
Okay, so again, thank you guys very, very, very much. You want to go dancing tonight? Have a nice time? I got those tickets to give away, all right? Keep that in mind.
My friend Golden up in Canada, she said that the first attack by Hamas was on the 7th of October.
Okay.
It's that long already. Imagine that, 7th of October.
Yeah, we're looking at over a month.
In a few weeks. So Golden, thank you very much, Golden.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if you want to take a little lime tonight as well, if you know, if maybe you don't take the lime at the VBCC, you can come down by Dax.
Train your pitch.
I'll be there, God willing. And tomorrow night down in Soufre, Tony, you know we have a lot of friends down in Soufre these days.
Oh yes.
Because we are loud and clear in Soufre.
Yes, Soufre massive. Hi, good morning.
So Soufrians, yours truly. I'm going to be at Hotel Chocolat tomorrow Saturday.
All right.
I'm looking forward to that actually.
You know, that would be nice if I could have come there. You know.
Yeah. It is what it is.
I'll try my level.
Let's say good morning to my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Anthony.
Okay.
Morning, Anthony. He's always locked in, you know.
Yeah.
He and his darling girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Koki? In the States, I'm supposed to be vibing with Koki today. Koki, I'm gonna try to give you a call because I don't know what time because he did promise today because he's off today too. You know, I think the day after Thanksgiving, because yesterday was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving holiday is a big holiday in the USA, man. You remember that, right?
Of course, I mean
Turkey Day, man.
Turkey,
big meals. You know what I mean? Gosh,
anything to eat food,
boy,
in America.
I tell you, yeah, man.
Okay, so that's it for my stint here for today. Thanks for being with me. I'll be back. I have the weekend off, thank God. So I'll be back, God willing, on Monday morning, same time, 5 o'clock, 5 until 11. And we still have some shows to unleash, all right? So we're still talking, right? But I promise you it's going to be good. So Tony, enjoy yourself. Have a great show. You have your show coming up next.
That's right.
And then from 3 o'clock, it's going to be Zen the DJ.
That's right.
Alrighty. So have a good one.